Uh, Martin Luther King said, the issue is not between violence and nonviolence. It's between nonviolence and non-existence. Yes, I'm talking about a nonviolent revolution of consciousness. A consciousness that is able to understand how we're all inextricably connected to each other on this earth and to the earth itself. And if we violate those fundamental principles, we do so at our own peril. We have to continue to live because it's painful. It's frightening. Sometimes it's terrifying. How can we continue as a civilization of we the people? I'm liberated. I'm free to stand anywhere, anyplace, and tell them they cannot continue to kill mothers and fathers and children in my name as a citizen of the United States.
And welcome back to another great night here on the Freedom Revolution Network. This is Clarity After Dark. I am your host, Scarlet Anonymous. My co-host, Dwayne Lanham, is here with me tonight. Hello, everyone.
evening, y'all.
Got to even play my theme song, y'all. Pretty excited.
Another one
So
of
that
them
was
nights
good.
here in the Freedom Revolution Network.
Oh, yeah, it's always a good night when we start out with our theme song. And if everybody doesn't know what the theme song for Clarity After Dark is, it is Microphone Mafia, What You Believe.
Good ass song.
It is. It's such a good song. Like, every time I hear it, it just always gets me amped up right before the show. It's like one of those things, like my, like my hype song. Like,
Right.
so I'm all over here. And then we come on air, and it's good. So welcome, everybody. I haven't been around in a while, so I'm glad to see everybody back. I'm glad to see everybody here. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody who's watching the replay as well. We're glad to have you here on the Freedom Revolution Network. Yeah, I am ready for a marathon of evenings. I thought it was interesting. Dwayne's not ready for a marathon of evenings, but I just found that this was fitting that I took as long of a break as I did, and now I can kind of calm down and slow down a little bit.
Yeah, you got wrong.
No, well, no, I knew at the time when I slowed down that that's when everything would go ape shit, right? So
I can blame
I,
Scarlett for this.
what can I say? But what I do know is we've got some interesting things to talk about tonight, and some things we've never seen before.
What, like
Others,
fucking water tornadoes in the fucking ground?
there was 10 water spouts there
I
in
saw
Louisiana.
6.
I saw 10.
On that picture, it said 6, not 10.
Bruh, go look at the article I posted on my page, and then you can shut up.
Man,
Thank you.
I'm not ready for these events. Like, just let me
It's
tell,
the grand
just
solar
let
minimum.
you know what the
Welcome
grand
to the
solar
grand solar
minimum.
minimum, Dwayne. Welcome.
The grand solar minimum can go sit down, shut the fuck up, and go somewhere because
You
I'm
know the grand solar
done.
minimum's not going to sit down anywhere.
This is the second year
Um,
we've went through this. The second fucking year.
well, this is going to be the rest of our lives, Dwayne. So just buckle in, get ready. And I don't say that facetiously, but honestly, what else can we do? This isn't something that we can control. Space particles and space weather and things coming from the sun, we can't control that. They can say climate change is causing it, all this is that, bop, bop, the other. But I find it interesting the week that we have an intense solar storm. What happened the last time we had a solar storm and a big ass storm? You want to know what happened, Dwayne? I'll give you one guess. What storm happened the last time we had a large flare?
Harvey. You don't even
Correct.
gotta say it.
Correct. You know it. You fucking know it because that's the way it works. And so on the week that we just had one of the largest flares of solar cycle 25,
Too
we
big.
get this increase in activity, right? And so that's concerning. That should be concerning to anybody.
You know what?
Because I think it's all connected because we've brought this up before. When space weather particles come in, that upsets, the whole earth, through the core. And when we
Right.
see that, we start seeing more seismic activity and more volcanic activity that then sparks fires. And, I'm wondering how many earthquakes were in Texas because, I really haven't been hearing them report on Texas lately for earthquakes.
No, the only
I
thing we
wonder
heard
how
from
many
Texas,
I
the only
wonder how
thing
many there were. Hold on. I wonder how many there were because of the explosion in Corpus Christi tonight. So that'll be the
that's
first
where I
thing
was going.
that we're going to talk about. Yep. Because I had a theory with some of the other fires that occurred in Texas that this has to do with like some seismic pressure, as Dutch Sense would say, coming up into the area and then upsetting the pipelines, upsetting the fittings, upsetting, where they store the natural gas or at this facility. And then those things get shifted and moved around and then boom. And it happens right after solar flares and it happens or during periods of heightened seismic activity, which can be triggered by solar flares. Why I say
So
those two are conclusive.
there's been 4 earthquakes in the past 24 hours, 15
In
earthquakes in the
Texas.
past 7 days. Yep. 35 earthquakes in the past 30 days and 308 earthquakes in
What's
the
the
past.
magnitude? What is the magnitude on
They're
those?
saying 1.5 or greater.
See, and that's about enough with the solar storms. I just think they're connected. Like how I thought originally, 2 years ago. Wow, Dwayne, 2 years ago, right now, we would have been up during Harvey. This is the Harvey week.
I thought that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, it is 3 years ago, but you know what I mean. 3 years ago, right
This
now, we
week,
would have been up for 5 days doing Harvey.
you were up for 5. I was up for 7.5 days until I got home.
Well, yeah, till you got home, but I was up for 5, so it's 5
And
straight
that,
days.
you know what? In remembrance of Harvey, I want to, I want to say this. I still pray for the victims of Harvey. I still pray for the families. I still pray that
People are still recovering from that, to be honest.
and
People are
this, and
still.
then these, and then the events and these hurricanes getting ready to come in. Because Scarlett, told me on the phone
Hold
earlier
on,
today
let's
that
talk about Corpus Christi first.
Corpus Christi is going to be the rock. Corpus Christi is the
Well, that's where the
solitude.
hold on. No, we're talking about that under the context of the natural gas explosion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's a lead to me. That's a starter of leading of events for more things to come.
Yeah. So okay,
Bonnie, easy
supposedly a
peasy.
barge. Okay, so oh hello. Supposedly a barge hit a natural gas pipeline, sparking an explosion that sent 6 people to the hospital and 4 others missing. This happened in
How?
Corpus Christi, Texas. A dredging vessel at a Texas port hit a natural gas pipeline Friday, sparking an explosion that sent 6 people to the hospital and 4 others missing, authorities said. The explosion happened about 8 a.m. in the port of Corpus Christi when the dredging vessel Wayman L. Boyd struck a submerged pipeline. Coast Guard Lieutenant Marina Lawrence said the port of Corpus Christi in a statement that it was a natural gas pipeline. Initial reports indicated about 18 workers in the area at the time, according to the county's top elected official, Nueces County Judge Barbara Canales. Oh, hold on. What the shit? Okay, hold on.
Get your shit
4 of
together.
those people were missing. I'm trying. 4 people were missing. 6 were taken to hospitals, and 8 were uninjured. She said. Of the 6 injured, 5 were airlifted to a San Antonio hospital for severe burns, while another was expected to be discharged Friday, said Sean Strawbridge. Oh, good. I'm glad you decided to see if we were on, because we are. A CEO of a port in Corpus Christi Fire Department Chief Robert Rocha said that upon arrival, firefighters encountered heavy fire and smoke conditions. By late Friday morning, the line feeding the fire had been shut off. Let's see.
So,
The fire was extinguished.
so I want to say this: the way the fire ran, because I seen the footage of the fire today for the first time. I know Scarlett's seen it already, and I seen it on
Right.
WA5 or WAAF or whatever that is, the thing that you follow. And
Oh, right.
I was
I follow
watching it.
so many news agencies.
That, guys, is what we would call a fully engulfed gas fire, which is more complicated to
Well,
deal with.
natural gas is highly flammable.
Yeah, so we even though it's a natural gas fire, we would still consider it under the labels of a gas fire because it's still a form of gas. So the way we would do that is we would start fighting it first before we could even try to get to the main part of what's causing it because we want to get that line, we want to get where that explosion happened wet. For when we shut that gas off, it's not going to make a bigger boom because if you suddenly set that gas off, that's a buildup of line pressure, and adding water into that line kind of diffuses the pressure between the pipe and the flame because the only thing that flame is doing is keeping that pressure on top of the pipe. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. And so because the gas is pressurized and that's where we get a lot of our natural gas from, it makes sense. But like I said, something just makes me feel like there was something else because you didn't think about vessels being able to hit this in the port. You don't have it properly marked with like a buoy or something
Those
else that would
gas,
allow you think what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
right?
why isn't there like a permanent buoy there? So then you're like, oh yeah, no. I mean,
Shit.
I come from the land of 10,000 lakes, so I know how to navigate waters to some degree. Now, not super large bodies because I wouldn't dare go in Superior, but the point is that we have markers and buoys and people even tie just milk jugs to a damn log to be like, oh, here's a log in the water that your boat can't handle. So why
And
couldn't they
that's
have done that so that they didn't hit this damn natural gas pipeline? And how come somebody's not watching to be like, oh, hello ship, you there in port, why the hell are you close to this pipeline? You know what I mean? I'm just having a hard time being in 2020 and then nobody's like, oh, get the hell out of this shipping lane because it's really not a lane because there's a goddamn natural gas pipeline. Or if they were letting this line go through a natural gas pipeline, again, why the hell are you letting ships go through a natural gas pipeline?
here's my theory behind that, and like I said, it's just a theory at this point because we don't have any proven facts yet if something was sitting there. Because if it was there, it's gone.
True.
So, I mean, so the way, because I've done rescue diving, I've done rescue swimming before. Normally, when we're dealing with pipes, there's like a buoy, there's like a marker, like or something bolted onto it, onto the pipeline that's bringing it up, like a
Right.
sign going like "Do not park here" or "Do not
Interesting.
park here" or "Do not park here." Don't do this. Don't bring your boat anywhere near it. And like in Cleveland, there's on the one side of Lake Erie, there's a line that runs there, and they have it blocked off with like a cement, like a road barrier. Like
Right.
you can't go here. So with the gas line being in the water, now watch this, because I didn't know the gas line was in the water until you said something. So with the gas line being
Yeah.
in the water, and this is coming from another firefighter's perspective, the gas line being in the water, that's going to give us now so much part of a time to get access into the actual pipe, because we're fighting the water, because now the water's on fire, which is what's going to cause our problem. Because now what we'll have to do to come in to combat it, since we can't use water. Water's thrown out of the fucking system because it's a gas fire and it's a water fire.
Right. Well, yeah, because
And let
now
me
the
put it
water has been chemically changed to basically absorb this gas, so the water's
right.
flammable. You know what I mean? It's like
So
putting a
like
coat of oil on the top and lighting it on fire.
that's what it'll go like, is when we had the Gulf of Mexico, when all that oil ended up getting leaked into the water. So now what we have to do is we have to
You
come
just
in with
can't
what we
see natural gas. You know what I mean? Why
right.
it's a good analogy for it.
We come in with what we call a foam soaker.
Right.
But the thing is, using foam and water, it's not the safest. But the foam is made by hooking the nozzle up to a water hose, up to our hoses.
Right.
So now not only are we combining a natural gas fire, we're trying to get the water, because the thing is that gas is spreading that whole lake or that whole ocean or whatever that is. I think that's the ocean right there by Corpus Christi.
Yeah, that's
That
the
whole
ocean. It'd be the
that
Gulf
can
of Mexico.
that can spread miles and miles and miles, to where what we would have to let it do at that point, if it did spread, is just let it burn.
Burn itself out. Yeah. And
Would
at
have
what
to. And
cost
see,
to the
that's the thing with the
animals
hurricane.
and
Right.
wildlife and
And
everything
see,
else?
and here I want to throw this theory in here, because I know we're going to talk about it here for a minute. If they don't get this fire under control, and if it's not out already, there's two hurricanes coming in through the Gulf of Mexico. That can turn very dangerously with the hurricane coming in, because now we can have a water hurricane, just like this week we had a fucking fire tornado.
Right. Fire, NATO, hurricane. Ooh, do you have that on your apocalypse bingo card? Fire, NATO, hurricane, fire, NATO, hurricane,
I had that.
fire, water spout, hurricane,
I
fire spout, hurricane,
the,
fire
the
spout.
the water spout, no. The hurricane and the fire tornado, with all the fires going on, I quickly added that to my bingo card.
Oh,
I
okay.
quickly
Right.
added that one. Once I saw all the
Quickly
fucking
added
fires
them.
popping that off, and then I had at
Right.
least a good 8 9 hurricanes already popped up onto my fucking bingo card, because I like this season. I don't like these months.
Hi,
They can go somewhere else.
Cameron.
Down somewhere. They're on my bingo card just due to the fact that I know what August of every fucking year looks like. It's disastrous. It's reckless. Lives are
It is
lost.
reckless. What's up with August? Like it is reckless, like every year.
It's
And people
either
forget.
July, August, or September that we get one of the three. Yeah, because that's when
I
fucking
I
Irma's
would
truck was at
say
the end of the
no.
bitch.
I say August, September, October is when it's really going to be rocking and rolling. Because remember, her Atlantic hurricane season runs through the end of November, almost December. And
And it's cold as
so
shit.
and it's cold as shit. You know what I mean? So we got to think about that. So now what we're going to shift to is something that Dwayne and I, in all of our forecasting years, never thought, all of our disaster relief years. Okay,
That wasn't on
now,
my apocalyptic bingo card. I'll admit that wasn't
okay,
on mine.
no, it was not on my apocalypse bingo card either. But here's the issue. Now, I always thought we would have two hurricanes in the Gulf, not in the Gulf at once, right? Ain't that the
Right.
truth, Josh? No, that's real. That's real. Leos get reckless and make bad decisions. No,
Fuck
that is
y'all,
real.
fuck y'all, Leos at this point.
Leos are sketchy people. Okay,
I
okay.
love
Love
Leos.
you if
I
you're a
dated a
Leo.
Leo.
I do. That's who I'm thinking about. I'm thinking of a Leo that I dated that always made bad choices.
That's what
Um.
I'm thinking too.
Oh,
As
hi,
fucking Josh
Cameron.
said that.
Welcome from Sonoma County. Are you close to the fires up in Sonoma at all? I know it is. It's a nightmare. How far are the fires
There's a
away from you? Because we'll
tropical.
get into talk. Hold on. We'll get into talk about that next too. And there is a tropical front. So we're going to talk about all the hurricanes and stuff right now. We're going to start off at the top. We're going to move across, and we're going to talk about all of these. Um, like I said, tonight's talk is about extreme weather. Tonight's talk is about what's happening right now that's going on in
What
front
me
of
and
our eyes.
Scarlett do
And
best.
it's what we do best. And it's super concerning though. I just feel this is like this is the big time. Like we're seeing things that we never thought we would see. And I mean, between the derecho in the past couple weeks, the lightning, we have lightning storms similar on both sides of you. I hope you have a good escape route to get out if it gets closer to you. Um,
And I want
that
to say this too. With all this going
Stop
on,
cutting me. This is my show, Dwayne. No, you don't cut me off. You just made me forget my whole train of thought on that. I will knock you out. Don't. Um, the whole problem is that between that and then the fires, and then now the lightning storm. That's what I was going to say. The lightning storm, which both we had a similar lightning storm here in Minnesota where there were literally 2 to 3 lightning strikes per second. There ended up being 15,000 lightning strikes in a period of 3 hours. It was the craziest storm I have ever seen in my whole life. Like literally the whole sky was just lighting up always. Like there was no in between. Like it was just literally lit up, and then the sky was rumbling. Like I've never heard the sky just like one big thunder rumble for hours. I've never heard a storm quite like this. And that was after the derecho. We had the beginning of the derecho when it was building up in North Dakota and swept across, and we had a
we
day to
got
actually
that.
be on top of it.
We
Because Reed
actually
Timmer
got a
started
part of that.
chasing it. You did, because Reed Timmer started chasing it in North Dakota, then it went across Minnesota, then it went down to Iowa, and then whooped Iowa's ass. And and I feel so bad for the people of Iowa, you guys. If you have any money to donate to the people of Iowa, we'll find a way to get it to the farmers and communities out there in Cedar Rapids. It's super important that we just stay on top of everybody right now, because there are so
Right.
many people at risk for natural disaster. It is not even funny. I wish it was funny because it would make it a little bit easier, right?
You know what, Bonnie? And I agree with
And
you at this point because
it
Bonnie
is
said
so
biblical and nature type events. Because if you go into the Book of Revelations, if you
why
go
won't
into
it
the
let me
book,
pull it? There we go.
if you go into the Book of Revelations and you hit like the later chapters, not like 1 through 7, if you hit like 8 through the rest of the books, the chapters that are in Revelations, um, which here's sometime on Scarlet Show, I do have an announcement for everybody. So Scarlet, don't let me forget that, damn it.
Oh, I won't let you forget that, Dwayne. Hold on. I'm pulling up the National Hurricane Center right now. But yeah, Cameron, it is interesting because the same event did happen basically up here, but we have lots of trees and we've had lots of rain this year. So we don't start wildfires here.
Can I finish my train of thought on Bonnie's thing real quick that you have still up?
Yeah, but you had switched the topic,
Yeah, I
so
didn't
that
mean
doesn't
to.
count, Dwayne.
Well,
Anyway,
the biblical events made me think of this whole thing, so I'm sorry. Um, if you get later into the Book of Revelation, I say around chapter 9 or 10, and you read through how many chapters are in Revelations, that we said what, 22, 23?
it might be a few more than that, but I think at least in the 20.
I'm gonna go look while I'm talking. But anyway, so you get into the later
Definitely in the
books, you get 22. I was right. Okay, I'm good. But no,
Okay, you were right.
you
Good for you,
get
Dwayne.
into the later books, and it starts talking about these storms again, and there's been a lot of questions. God said he promised to never flood the earth again. That's why the rainbow's there. But with
Never
these
again but by flood, but he never said
by
nothing about
fire.
fire.
No, but here's the thing: is everyone's going like, and I'm gonna bring this up for a minute because now it's in my mind. So everyone's going like, well, God's just flooding the earth all over again. I'm like, no, look at the rainbow. The rainbow,
That's God's covenant.
the rainbow was a covenant to us that He would never drown the earth again. If we get burned by
Well, it's a
fire,
covenant that we agreed that we're going to live by the principles that God had put forward.
that's not fucking working well.
No. Okay, that is not. All right.
But
So, now we're
what do
going
you
to
got,
get
Charlotte?
into this though. We're ready. We're going to get into this though. This is super important. So, we're going to go to the National Hurricane Center. And we're going to give a little rundown. So, the NHC is now issuing advisories on Tropical Storm Laura and now Tropical Storm Marco. Okay, so we are both our tropical storms currently. Now, it's interesting because remember last week when Dwayne and I came on to talk about this? Do you guys remember this? We made a special broadcast in the middle of the night just for
5
this
o'clock in the
storm.
fucking morning.
Yes, it was. Because
How
I
many
knew
days
that it
out?
was coming.
I can't give a days out yet because
That was
I don't. They're saying Tuesday morning.
Hold on. Let me look because you're gonna have to wait for that answer, Pam, because we're doing live research.
That's
So you're gonna have to wait
Bonnie.
a second. Oh, it is Bonnie. I thought that was Pam. I just looked
They're
down
saying
and I saw
Tuesday when I
Pam.
was looking at it.
Right. So last Thursday, I think it was. Was it last Thursday? Dwayne and I came on.
It was this Wednesday.
It was
It was this
Wednesday.
week. It was this week
Was
when
it
we did
Wednesday?
it. Yeah.
Are you sure? Was it
It
like
was
Tuesday
this
or
week.
Monday?
It was either Monday or Tuesday because this is my first show I've done all week.
Okay. So yeah, it was
Besides
sometime.
the early
Must
one.
be the last show Dwayne and I did. Point blank, bottom line. We talked about this storm. We talked about what the danger was going to be and how we were both concerned that this was going to be an event, right? God dang it, I can't sit up, you guys.
Get
And
your shit
so
together.
shut up, Dwayne. This is the first time I've done my show in here. It's hard. I gotta find new spots.
I love you.
I
I'm
don't know how
picking
to
on
be
you.
comfortable yet. Like,
I'm picking on you. Just wait
oh,
till
so
you get your computer.
this is my new camper, everybody. I'm in my new camper. We have a small
By the
camper
way,
to
did
it.
you guys get it
Ooh,
fixed?
look, you can see with the reflection of my window, you can see my kitchen, you guys. Look.
Did you guys get your siding fixed yet?
We'll get that done.
It still hasn't. I told my mom about that the other day. My mom got fumed just like you did. They literally did.
I am
They
in
did
my new
what?
place, Bonnie. Yes, I'm in my trailer right now. So,
Scarlett's prayers were answered.
yeah, so we are doing the first show on the homestead right now. So it's pretty
How does it
exciting.
feel?
Feels pretty good. Um, after I intercepted a tornado tonight, you guys, ridiculous. I got a
I'm ready
video
to
of the
smack the shit.
tornado.
I'm ready to smack the shit out of you for going outside. It's a good video.
Dude,
It's
we
just
were
like you
already outside. We were already outside. What do you mean? Like,
see that
we were
bitch.
already
You
outside.
run. You run. You don't stand there and film it,
You
Scarlett.
know
You
how far
run.
that is actually away from me? That's like 40 to 50 miles away.
That could have been 2 to 3 minutes that you could have been dead.
It can't go that way. It's not the storm had already moved across. It's not going to come backwards in reverse. Storms don't do that.
I've seen it do it. I've seen
You have
one.
not. You have not seen a storm reverse in your life. Storms do not. They have a forward motion. They move forward. They don't move backward unless it's a hurricane. It did have some spin, but we were fine. It was fine. It
Well,
was
no,
fine.
that's what I'm saying. I've seen it with a hurricane because we've seen the fucking hurricane just completely backtrack and go the opposite. Fuck.
Now we
What are you
have seen
drinking?
a
That looks
hurricane,
good.
but that has an eye and pressure. And now this was a
What are
low
you
pressure
drinking?
center that moved over us. Now that is true,
What are you
but it
drinking?
was White Claws no loss, bitch.
White Claw.
White Claws no laws. So
Hey, you know what? White Claws are good as shit. I used to go to the bar and get them
this
all the
one
fucking
is
time.
actually really good. I'm not gonna lie.
What flavor
It's
is
just
it?
it's pineapple.
I like the apple one.
Yeah, it's a little bit less alcohol too. This one is 70 calories and it has no sugar. Um and it's pineapple flavor and it's 1.3% less alcohol than a regular White Claw. So I felt
Don't die.
appropriate for the show. Yeah, and it was northeast, to me in direction, Bonnie. So that's why I wasn't that concerned. Um because I can see a really long way here. Like I can see lightning almost down to the cities 2 hours away from where I'm at. So that's
Oh.
why it's concerning. But yeah, that's why I wasn't concerned. Hey, I wasn't drinking White Claws during the tornado. Like, no, that was not a thing. Um, but this was earlier tonight. I had intercepted the tornado. I'll have to post the video. Maybe I'll post it to my Twitter at that Clarity Show and check that out. Or I think I have the other account though, Scarlet Anonymous. Search Twitter Scarlet Anonymous, like Scarlet FRN or something like that.
Give me a minute. I gotta pull my Twitter account up.
Right. Well, I haven't posted it on Twitter yet, but I should post it from the FRN account, y'all. But
I can do
anyways,
that real quick. I'm right here on my phone.
don't no.
But I
I
was
gotta post. I gotta post it. No, you're not. You can't.
what am I
No,
looking at? Scarlet Anonymous?
I didn't share it yet, Dwayne. Just wait.
No, Twitter. Goofy.
Oh yeah, Twitter Scarlet Anonymous. Um, this is not even that much alcohol. It's like not even that much. I already had
It's
that.
at Scarlet
Um,
Anon FRN.
see y'all. Scarlet A9 FRN.
That's you,
Um,
isn't it? Hold on.
it's
I
like
gotta turn my
liberal
brightness down.
Democrat awake. It's like a
It
black and
says
yellow and
Republic.
white.
It says Republican white, Democrat is white, and Awake is yellow.
Correct. Yes, that
Station
is my.
manager, host, co-host, informing freedomists on real estate of the Republic, lightening the passion for liberty. Heard only on Freedomizer Radio Monday, Tuesday, Friday, 11 p.m. But it's no longer
Oh, that's
Freedomizer; it's
old. Yeah, I
FRN.
gotta change that. That's old.
I wasn't
But
even following it, so I'm going. I didn't even know you had that page. You said
yeah,
something.
I have that and then at that Clarity Show. Okay, but continuing back on. But the tornado was interesting tonight though, because I watched it. I've been watching a lot of Storm Chasers episodes with like Reed Timmer lately. And so when I saw it, Mr. Tire was like, "Hey, I want you to come look at this cloud." And I was like, "Okay." And so I go out, teamwork makes the dream work, right? So I go out and I look and I'm like, "Oh shit." Like it was like a wedge, you know. And so I was like, "Ooh, that's probably not a good thing." Oh, I wonder if I can send it. Yeah, Mr. Tire's phone sucks though to try to show the video. Um, but it's just like a
I
30
can show it
second.
real quick because I'm right on your page. You know it.
Well, you can,
Yeah,
yeah, you gotta,
I know. I gotta be
yeah.
careful.
But just make it big too, and then hopefully we can show everybody, and then we'll talk about the hurricanes.
You're not gonna be able to hear Scarlett's voice because I'm currently on the phone.
Right, right,
But
right.
oh, what the hell?
Here we go. See, there was a wedge. You can see the wedge in the background, and then
So
it
I just try
started
to pull it up on
forming.
Facebook on my computer.
I mean, I guess
That's
you
too
could.
that's too risky though because I can't hide your actual name.
Yeah, I know. So that's the problem. So then you can see the wedge form, and then it kind of dripped down, hit all the way to the ground, pulled it up, and then
Good,
dissipated,
yeah.
pulled it back down, and then it disappeared. And I was like, "Oh, here we go, you guys." I was like, "Oh, it's reforming." Like I totally
I
felt
was
like
ready
Reed
to
Timmer.
smack the
Then
shit
I
out of
called the
Scarlett.
National Weather Service in Grand Forks, North Dakota, to report the funnel that I seen. And there was no tornado warning ever issued for this area. But still saw
That's a
it,
random.
captured it. Yeah,
That's a
well,
random. Because here's the thing: like before, since you just said that, and I've been doing the hurricanes, I've learned a lot about tornadoes because they're spontaneous or like that. Like, because
Right.
the one time, and I'm going to say this and Scarlett's for laugh, because the only thing I hear for the first 10 minutes is reporting back from the National Hurricane, from the National Weather Channel, reporting back from the National Weather Channel, reporting back from the National Weather Channel,
You
reporting
guys
back
are
from the
about to
National
hear
Weather
that
Channel.
shit in a few minutes anyway, so get ready, Dwayne.
And next thing you know, there's 10 fucking hurricanes on the ground in Florida at one time, and I'm sitting there going like, I'm
Well,
done.
tornadoes, yeah.
I shut my phone off. Scarlett was trying to get a hold of me, and then I turned it back on because I want to hear about it, and I got yelled at for shutting my phone off. Going like, I'm sorry, that got really fucking annoying, and I got really pissed. I hate this season. Leos, I love y'all, but to my ex who's watching that's a Leo, y'all some crazy ass motherfuckers, and I'll never date a Leo again.
Right.
Leos are
So it
cancer.
was intense. And the one thing Reddit brought this up to me, and she was like, ugh. Damn it, I
Oh,
need a
by the
cigarette
way,
too. Okay.
guys, prayers,
What?
prayers
By the
for
way,
Red.
what? Don't. Oh yeah, pray for Red, you guys. Pray for Red right now. She needs all the protection she can get
And pray for
spiritually
David.
and energetically. Yes, please pray over them right now. It's not medical, but it is serious. Okay, and that's what I'll say about it.
I'd say David goes.
What I also will say is, um,
Child sex
we need,
trafficking is real.
yeah, that too, save the children. Um, but
Hashtag save David.
right, this is serious. So we have a really big problem right now. Are you a Leo, Migto? I could totally see that you're a Leo though, because you're all out there and raw, and you know what I mean. Like,
Dude, I
I
could
could
tell
see
he was
that.
a me. I can tell he was a Leo when he was on the show because in some ways
I'm
he
an
was a dick to that
Aquarius.
troll. You know what? Now listen, hold on a minute. I dated an Aquarius. I love Aquariuses. Julie was an Aquarius. Scarlett. Julie was an Aquarius. No, February. Yeah, February's an
Yeah,
Aquarius, isn't it?
don't Julie and I share the same birthday?
February 18th.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I love that.
That's
I told, hold on,
bullshit.
story time. I told
Well, hold on.
Scarlett
We're
that
no story time. Hold on. We're everybody. I guess is telling us their sign. So Migto's a Leo, okay,
Aries,
and Cameron is
Aries,
a Virgo, okay. Which Virgos are cool. Like Virgos, I don't usually have an issue with them because they're usually like cool, level-headed kind of people. So I usually
Sam
don't have an
said
issue with
I'm
Virgos.
safe. I'm a Capricorn. I'm not safe. I'm an Aries. I'm the most fucking
Are
hated
you
one
a
out
Cap?
there.
Oh, a Capricorn, huh? Interesting.
I'm
It's
the most hated.
interesting to know what everybody is because everybody's
I,
very different.
I'm
February is
I'm
not Pisces, my dear. I am an Aquarius born on the last day of Aquarius, and I
I'm
am in the age of Aquarius. So trust me,
I'm the
I'm an
most
Aquarius.
hated, and here's why: because I'm an Aries. I'm hot headed. I'm temperamental. I'm bullheaded,
That's
and I'm
why I can't
stubborn.
stand you, Dwayne. That's why we get into it because you're a fucking Aries, and me and Aries people like either my mom is an Aries, okay, and so like I
We've been
know
friends for
like
4 years, though.
I don't care. Like I've been friends with my friend Tasha, who's also an Aries for many years, and we talk about Aries people a lot, and they're
Dude,
hard.
do you know
They're
what?
just
The one
they're
thing
hard people.
I'm gonna say this because I've dated a female that's an Aries, and I'm gonna throw one thing out there, and Scarlett can kick my ass out later. The two signs that are best at this one thing is Libras and Aries.
Well, I wonder what everybody's big three is because the big three tells more about your personality
What is the big
than
three?
the big three is like your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. And
I'm
you
gonna
can
see what
find that
March
out
is.
through charts. No, you got to put like your birth date, your birth time, all that into the charting app. So, but I am a Aquarius, Scorpio, Aquarius are my big
I
three.
I hold on.
And this is why usually Aquarians and Scorpios don't get along, but this is why me and Mr. Tire work because Mr. Tire's a Scorpio. And so I have Scorpio traits. And so this is why we get along. So that's just our little daily astrology lesson. But hold on, I gotta get to the damn hurricanes. This is really goddamn important. We just went on a whole goddamn tangent about something else
I'm
that I
trying to
shouldn't
talk
even
about
do
the
about.
hurricanes. That's why I'm
Goddamn white
fucking.
cause no laws. Fuck, man.
Oh, I'm doing this to you because of the fucking fact I don't want to fucking talk about these motherfuckers. You want to know why Dwayne
Well,
doesn't talk about these motherfuckers? Is the
how
reason I
dare
want to
you
talk.
sabotage my show, Dwayne? That is so messed
You
up.
know what? And it's the White Claw. Don't. I'm not taking 100% responsibility for this. It's you
Oh,
drinking
are
White Claw
you,
at the same time.
buddy? That's interesting. Bonnie's a Libra with Sagittarius rising, and her moon is in Aquarius. This may be why we get along so well. I really do think that that has something to do with it. Why we like see eye to eye on a lot of things and agree, right? I was
Right.
looking at German Shepherd puppies too recently, Bonnie, which was quite exciting for me.
So
But I don't know
why
if I
were
want one because everybody I know who has one says they're crazy, and it's like I don't want a crazy one. I
so
can't do
why
it.
we're here?
I already have a crazy kid.
Dwayne's gonna give a special announcement real quick. That way I don't forget.
Oh yeah,
Scarlet
announce your
Anonymous.
thing, and then we'll
Scarlet
go on
Anonymous
with
will
it.
be in Ohio in October, and so will TLO because some in beginning of October to the middle of October, we are going to have a 2 or 3 day revival. We are going to cover it here on the FRN. We're going to have a panel of preachers. We are not abiding by social distancing guidelines. We're doing this traditionally.
Welcome.
We're going to do this as a traditional revival. You do not have to wear a mask if you do not want to. We will not. I will personally not, even though it's coronavirus. I will not enforce social distancing laws. We will be laying hands on people, praying with people. Um, Depending if I can get an inside building, we will be doing baptisms. If I can, if I can't, we'll find a place to do a
If you
baptism
can't, try to get a horse trough or one of those
with a warmer.
galvanized a horse trough or like a feed tub, because people
Yep.
can fit into that.
Well, I got to get a warmer for it, but so we're gonna have
Those are
a
cheap.
panel. We're gonna get a panel of preachers. It's gonna be in Ohio. It's gonna be
Ohio.
here. It's gonna be the Stark County area of Ohio, anywhere between Massillon and Canton. We're gonna have a panel of preachers, different churches, different parts of the Christianity, religion: Methodist, Lutheran, Baptist, Apostolic, non-denominational, Free Methodist. Uh, so
Anybody's welcome to this, though.
anybody is
This is
welcome. And
just about people and freedom too, and beliefs, and sticking
Charlotte
to
has
our
agreed.
convictions.
Charlotte and my mom have both agreed to cover the event here on the FRN. And the reason I want to do that is because it's important that people that can't be there can still participate. Scarlett can
Right.
start praying with people, helping people that want to come back to Christ. The reason we're doing it is because if with we can all right now relate to Job, and a lot of people have strayed off. And I want to do this because God has laid it on mine and another person's heart. And guys, when I'm talking that this is possibly going to be a big event, I mean, this is going to be a big
We're
event.
going to
I'm
try to
not.
make it as big as possible with as many communities, as many churches who want to be involved. We're going to try to run the circuit, basically do a media blast, do all of the things to try to see what we can do. I think it's important when many places right now are preventing worship, preventing people from actually coming together. It should be everyone's choice. No one's taking you out of your home to show up at a service. So people who act like you shouldn't go to services, well, that's not your choice.
I
I
and
live in my home, you live in your home, and I mind my own business, you see.
and I do recommend, and I hate saying this because I don't know how the police department or anything's going to react.
Right.
I do recommend baking soda water. I do recommend masks. I do
I
recommend a
dare
lot of
them to try to
things.
break up a church revival, a tent revival. I dare them. I dare them to
It's
try to do some shit to a tent revival.
me and
I will lose it. Because here's the deal. no matter what you believe in as far as Christianity or not or whatever, right? Even if you're an atheist, the fact that people's rights are being taken because they choose to, since when did my health become everybody else's issue? See, this is the
Yep.
reason why I became a
Yeah, just say we're
anti-vaxxer.
protest. Yeah, just say we're
Okay, but
protesting when
hold
the
on,
cops
you're
get
right.
there.
But this is why I knew this was an issue being an anti-vaxxer. Was eventually they would get people so afraid of illnesses and so afraid of our own immune systems that they would be able to scare people into submission, which is what they have done with coronavirus, right? They've got people scared into submission, even though since we've had it in the United States, the data and what's happening has shown otherwise, right? Like
Yep.
before it came here, we were expecting the worst, right? Like similar to Ebola or other diseases. We didn't know. And when it got here, and since it's been here, it has not been as serious. And every day the numbers are getting lower, but yet they only go by certain case numbers and this and that to try to make it seem like it's a
Yep.
lot more people.
But
Like every day they announce the total that ever had coronavirus every day, but most of those people don't even have cases anymore. How many active cases do we have? And they won't tell us the active case numbers anymore because then they know that the gig's up once they say, oh, well, every day it's getting lower and lower and
right.
lower, you
And I
know?
want to say, this here,
Right.
here within the
They
next
are
week.
usurping our rights. It's fucked up. I'm
And you know what?
pissed.
And here's the thing: I am here in the next week gonna start asking, for a little bit of donations because of the fact that I gotta get enough anointing oil. I'm getting a couple robes from a site that I know for us ministers that don't have them. You know, um, this is gonna be a big thing, and like I said, I'm not worried about social distancing laws.
Look
You
at
know,
grandson.
I know I'm not worried about social distancing laws because here's the thing, my God's gonna come into play. You know what? If God, when we start laying hands on people, we don't know what we're fighting. We don't know if we're gonna start fighting demons. We don't know if certain things are gonna come out. But I do know that this revival is gonna hit home for a lot of people. And Scarlett has agreed to come down. That's why I'm doing it in October. She said if I can push it to October, she can make it down here. So Scarlett's coming down for it. TLO's coming down for it. It's gonna be a good time. And don't worry, they do have a place to stay. I'm just scared of where Scarlett's staying because she's gonna be able to smack the shit out of me when she wants to. So
So exciting, you guys.
that's
Get to
probably the
smack
part of
the lane.
the
Yes.
only time she's not allowed to smack me is at the revival
Oh, I would
because
never
I'm
disrespect you like
I'm
that.
I'm gonna be super busy. You guys, the only time you guys will probably even see me on camera is when I am speaking. And Bonnie, that's the one thing I am getting spiritually ready for is from demonic oppression because you
Yep.
don't know when you lay hands on people, they can already be oppressed. They can already be at the end of a third stage. I will have it. I will try to have it on Discord so people can hear. I'm hoping, that with the FRN, with
Well,
this
with
being out here,
Restream, we should be able to have it on Discord and
yep,
everywhere
with
else. You know.
with we'll use Restream. We'll have Mel help us get that set up. We'll use StreamYards. We'll use Zoom if we can. Try to get it just all the way out across the board. And my thing is to make this a nation
Ooh, love
ready
connections. Love connections at
revival.
the revival. Hell yeah. Love connection revival. Pam was like, go to the conference. Yes, 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 yes. Mom came out for the win. Yes, we
No,
can beat them
but
together.
this is, a thing that has been placed on my heart. You know,
FRN does have a Discord, Bonnie.
you
We've had a
know,
Discord
and
for
I will
quite a
post it
long
in the
time.
I will post it in the link here in a minute because I have the link. But this is
Do you have
something,
the link
the
for the FRN Discord
I
where
do.
you
I
can
can get
find it?
it.
Okay.
The Bible does say where two or three are gathered, I will be in the midst, and God has called everybody out to be a disciple in Christ. And this is something that I've kind of really ignored for a long while now. And so has the person I'm doing this with, but I'm grateful. I'm blessed. and I got a lot of praying. I got a lot of praying.
We
I got
can
a lot
go
of
to
mentality to
Ohio.
do. But if you guys are mobile, Bonnie, Pam, Grant, Migto, I would love
I
to
know
see
Victor is
everybody,
the truck driver, so maybe he would be in the neighborhood. You never know.
and I would love to have everybody come out. If you guys want any information for when it gets closer,
Like I said,
text.
I told Dwayne, I said I would like to have it like a block party style atmosphere. Yes, there will be heavy, religious undertones, and it won't be a non secular event. You know what I mean?
It's a
Um,
non-alcoholic event as well.
oh, absolutely.
Besides when
Yeah, it should
I
be a
don't
fun
know
event.
with certain
Yeah, is there going to
churches
be
because
like
I know
communion or something?
I think we're gonna do communion. I don't know. I don't know any details yet.
I think a
But
community communion would
if
be good.
we if we do communion, it's gonna be non-alcoholic. It's definitely gonna be a non-alcoholic communion. I'm not going the Catholic way with communion because it's wine, and there might be people that are alcoholics. There might be
I
people
don't
that
care.
don't
Wine is a
feel.
sacrament. You can have both and have people choose.
I will have
That's
red
what
wine.
my church does. They have people
I
choose. Like either you do wine or you can have juice for like the kids and for those who don't want wine.
there,
But honestly, the little swig that you get in that tiny communion cup, I mean, some of them
but
wines though, you never know. One time when I was pregnant, I took communion and I swear to God, I felt drunk afterwards. And I was like, dude, I feel drunk at communion. I feel like this is
oh,
a sin. Like, I was
but
like, this is the worst day of my
right.
life.
And I will
It
say
was
this,
serious.
I will have panels of pastors laying hands on people. I will have, us ministers that are by, like Scarlett, me, we'll be ready. You know, I have to get spiritually ready first before I start laying hands on people, which is why I'm just thankful that I have enough time to get myself spiritually ready.
Yeah.
The whole time, because this is just with churches being involved, I'm gonna have so many churches there. During communion is the only time that I'll even permit alcohol being there because I'm not trying to have fights or
Yeah, because I mean, a
everything.
communion cup is like this big, bro. Like, it's
It's
very,
only
very
like
big.
it's less than an ounce,
Oh, it's not
so
even. Oh God,
yeah,
it's not
it's
even.
it's
I think
very
it's like
less than an
a
ounce.
it's like a tablespoon of wine in a
Yeah,
little cup. It's not even
you
that much.
and I will have an actual pastor, do do
And then, too, we could do community communion where we like break from like a big loaf of bread too.
I know probably what I'll do is I'll start baking uh unleavened bread like two
No,
nights
I mean,
before
right.
because unleavened bread is not hard to make. It's just no yeast.
No, you can make it tasty too. So I mean,
Oh, so
just
I'll
make it
make there will be butter and stuff on it so it doesn't taste plain, but if we do
nothing
communion,
on it. You just gotta take nasty communion bread. It's awful.
well, the
But I
way
like
my church does
I've
it,
done that at a lot of at my church. They've always done like the big piece of bread. Now I'm sure during COVID they've stopped and went to individual wafers again or pick your own
what
wafer bullshit.
here's my thing. I don't care about here's my thing, and this is just placed on my
See,
heart
that's
about
what
it.
I'm saying. Loaves without the fishes. This is what I'm
I
saying. You need the loaf
you
of bread.
and there's going to be so many speakers there. Me and the person organizing this are preaching. We're going to have
We'll have
pastors.
to have you and her on to talk about this.
I'm going to invite her here soon. I know we have a meeting on Sunday with our first church.
Okay.
Um, I got a meeting on Tuesday with another church about using the facility, whether it's inside, whether it's using their outside space because they have a huge outside space with the stage. There's going to be different styles of praise,
I
because like
want
I said, we're
somebody to
going to have.
donate a tent. I want to see a tent revival. I hope somebody donates a tent.
You
Like
know
one of
what?
those
If
big white tent revival tents.
Right, and if I can get a tent, we're still going to use like the stage and everything,
Yeah, because as
just
long as
because
even if you didn't as long as you don't have like bad weather like snow or like thunderstorms, you could totally do like a tent
You
revival.
and I'm debate, and this is gonna be, just a great blessed thing. I'm not bragging about it. I just want to get the word to people, that we're starting the first
Well, I think
steps.
no matter what you feel compelled to do, right? No matter where your heart brings you to do, it doesn't even have to be religious, that you should follow through with it right now at this time.
That's what I'm doing because so many people have strayed away from Christ. Even though the God does state, once you're in my hand, no one can take you out of it unless you. But there's so many people. I mean, look at Job. Job lost his family, he lost his house, he lost his farm, he lost his health, and even though he got weary, and even though he he lost his, he was losing faith. Never once did he come back to God and go like, "Damn you." And that's what a lot of us are doing, because like if you look, because at that time it was Satan, and if you look at that and you put the government and you take Satan out and you put the government in there. Oh, there! I will make sure that there is ventilation in the tank. So if it's hot outside, I want everyone to
It's
stay
a
cool.
giant tent, Pam. It's a
It's
huge tent.
huge,
It's not the tent revival tents aren't small, my dear. And
and
no one's
my
worried
mom.
about the virus. That's not like this is like
And
a
this is
this
going
is
to be a good
something.
Holy Ghost. This is going to be a Holy Ghost moment. And I'm going to
Yep.
talk to my mother, and I love my mom a lot. Mom, I know you're listening, but you might honestly have to bake a lot of food, because there is going to be food. We are going to come.
But
We
you
are going to
never
have.
know if people will donate. Like if we could actually push this out to the right people. We don't know if restaurants would donate. We should find out if there's some, restaurants that align with the idea and the cause and
I do lessons, Grant, more than theories. What I do is when I plan a message, I pray about it. I pray about it. I do none of my stuff that I do is theory. None of what I preach is theoretical.
shit.
While Scarlett's trying to figure out what the
Damn.
fuck's going on, I'm gonna talk for a minute. When I preach, all my stuff comes from the Bible. It comes from the Bible. It
Yeah.
comes from the Word of God. And when I preach, it's not me talking. It's God using me as a human, because my beautiful mother, who I love, said this: God has never used a perfect person. And I will reference this as Saul, who later became the Apostle Paul, who wrote Ephesians, which is what I'm lining.
Nope. No. We got to talk about hurricanes. No.
No, that I'm saying, no, I was looking what verse it was that I'm lining with Ephesians
Oh,
6:11.
right.
So this is going to be a big event. And Scarlett, I want to say thank you first for even coming down on like very like 2 months short notice.
I mean, I'm gonna try my very hardest. So I'm not gonna promise 100% yet, but I'm gonna try to make it happen.
You you're going to make it down here.
I'm
I
gonna
have
try.
a feeling.
So yeah, everybody look forward and stay tuned for that. So we're gonna talk more behind the scenes. You'll see more about this in the future. It'll be a good thing. Now, hurricanes. We got some serious shit going on, you guys. Some serious shit. Okay. Answer what? My question to you is where we will go one, we go all equals Mount Hermon. What the hell is that?
So where we
Mhm.
go, one will go all. So Mount Hermon was the mount that God broke between the bread and the fish.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So Q equals fallen. Archangel.
I don't fuck with Q. I don't fuck with Q. So, all right, let's go to hurricanes. Let's do this. All right, so I got to go to the National Hurricane Center. Then we're going to go to myfoxhurricane.com. Then we're going to go through a few other modalities and methods because what's happening right now is very serious. we're sitting on what the National Hurricane Center came out already this year and said is going to be one of the most active Atlantic hurricane seasons on record. Q is equals BS. Thank you, Grant. I'm glad you're with it. Now, I followed Q in the beginning, before Q was trendy back in 2017, and when I stopped believing in Q was after the first days of darkness. And after the first days of darkness, Q said, "I will not come back unless there is a serious, compelling reason for me to come back." Right? Well, Q left in December and then came back literally like 15 or 30 days later and had a different tone about the way they were speaking, put out different messages, started talking about, more breadcrumbs and all this bullshit and basically leading people on wild goose chases. I feel like Q has allowed people to be complacent, of which then they don't feel like they need to go out and actively fight these things because, oh, Q is doing it. The storm's upon us, all this bullshit. Now, the idea of where we go one, we go all is a good idea. But as far as making people into action, it's not good. So, we're going to talk about the National Hurricane Center issuing advisories for the Atlantic on Tropical Storm Laura and Tropical Storm Marco. We're going to start with Tropical Storm Laura first. Okay, so the key messages for Tropical Storm Laura is tropical storm conditions are expected across the portions of the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico through Saturday. Tropical storm conditions are also expected along the northern coast of the Dominican Republic and Haiti and the coast of Turks and Caicos and the southeastern Bahamas Saturday into Sunday. Heavy rainfall is likely across these areas beginning and could cause mudslides and flash urban flooding through Sunday. Tropical storm conditions are possible over portions of the Bahamas Sunday night. The details of the long-range track intensity forecast remain more uncertain than usual because Laura is forecast to move near or over the portions of the Greater Antilles. Now, we got to go watch that because I follow Antigua and Barbuda news in a lot of those areas down there. I'm going to have to go link into their news to see what their news is saying. They say, however, Laura could bring storm surge, rainfall, and wind impacts to portions of Cuba, the Bahamas, and Florida early next week, and the northern U.S. Gulf Coast by the middle of next week. Interest should monitor the progress of Laura and updates to the forecast during the next few days. Now, we're going to look at some wind speed probabilities on Tropical Storm Laura. Now, look at this, you guys. I've never seen... Oh, crap. Do I got to put the brightness down? Hold on. Let me see what we got. Shit. How do I do it on this one? I don't know how to do it, you guys.
Slide the top is an iPhone.
No, it's not. It's Mr. Tire's phone, so I don't know how to do it on here.
Slide from the top down.
I did slide from the top down. I probably got to go into like all the settings. Hold on, because I feel like you
Charlotte,
can't.
do you want me to screen share this shit?
Oh no. I can. Oh, I can do it. Yep, I can do it. Hold on, I lied. All right. Now look at this tropical storm force wind speed probabilities map. Okay. And I've never quite seen one like it. Look at this, Dwayne. Look at it.
I did. I just threw my phone. Yep. Nope. This is going to be a bad one. Nope. Fuck that. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
This is going to be next level because you see both storms on there. And you see where they're going to track. See, look, there's Marco. There's Marco right there. Laura's back here. They're going to merge together. I told people tonight, Mark, look at the red. And I'm telling you, and that's going to be 80 to 90% chance of tropical storm force winds. Yep. And so the coast of Louisiana, Texas have about a 60% chance of tropical storm force winds. Okay, so let's see. Hurricane wind speed probability. Let's go look at that. And we can look at it. Oh, hold on. We can look at it in the loop.
Scarlett, I hate you so much right now.
Here's hurricane speed wind. So it looks like Texas will almost get hurricane speed at at the coast. I don't see any for Laura though. Because this is Marco that they're showing, unless Laura's going to go over there. Because
You know
this
what?
is
My
for
here's
Laura. Yeah,
mine.
this is for Tropical Storm Laura. Hold on. Holy shit. This is for
Since when the
Tropical
fuck?
Storm Laura.
And when the fuck did Marco back off of fucking?
So it's going
I
to.
need to walk away for a minute. I'm good. I'm gonna go use the bathroom.
So
I'll be back.
did Marco just. They both were tropical storms, so I think the one just developed before the other. Is what I'm gonna guess on that one.
I'm gonna go
So we're
get a
gonna
Mountain Dew.
read the bulletin as of 2 a.m. Like
Or
basically AFT.
I'll be back.
Center. Okay, go back. Go. Center of disorganized Laura is approaching the Virgin Islands and expected to move across much of the Greater Antilles this weekend. It is about currently 130 miles 40 miles or 60 kilometers southeast of St. Croix, 130 miles or 210 kilometers southeast of San Juan. Maximum sustained winds at 45 miles an hour. Present movement west-northwest at 18 miles an hour. And central pressure is at 1,008 millibars. Okay. So, the government of the Dominican Republic has issued a tropical storm warning for the south coast of the Dominican Republic from Cabo Higando to Punta Palenque. The government of the Bahamas has upgraded the tropical storm watch and to a tropical storm warning for the southeastern Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands and issued a tropical storm watch for the central Bahamas. The governments of Antigua has continued the tropical storm warning for Antigua, Barbuda, St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla, and Montserrat. Storm warnings in effect. Tropical storm warning is in effect for Puerto Rico, Vieques, and Culebra, U.S. Virgin Islands, U.S. British Islands, Saba and St. Eustatius, St. Martin and Barthélemy, the northern coast of the Dominican Republic from Cabo Higando to the border with Haiti, the southern coast of the Dominican Republic from Cabo Higando to Punta Palenque, the northern coast of Haiti from La Mole, St. Nicholas to the border with Dominican Republic, and the southeastern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. A tropical storm watch is in effect for the central Bahamas. The discussion and outlook is at 2 a.m. AST 0600 UTC. The center of Tropical Storm Laura was located near latitude 17.3 north, longitude 64.4 degrees west. Laura is moving toward the west-northwest near 18 miles an hour, and generally a west-northwestern motion at a slightly faster forward speed is expected over the next few days. On the forecast track, the center of Laura will move near or over portions of the Virgin Islands during the next several hours, or near or over Puerto Rico later today, and near the northern coast of Hispaniola tonight and early Sunday. Maximum sustained winds are near 45 miles an hour with higher gusts. Some slow strengthening is forecast during the next few days. Tropical storm force winds extend outward from 205 miles from the center. Laura is expected to produce 36 inches of rain over Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, the Dominican Republic, and southern Haitian Peninsula, and eastern Cuba through Sunday. Maximum amounts up to 8 inches are possible along eastern portions and the southern slopes of Puerto Rico, as well over Haiti, Dominican Republic, and eastern Cuba. This heavy rainfall could lead to flash and urban flooding, as well as an increased potential for mudslides and minor river flooding in Puerto Rico. 1 to 3 inches of rain with isolated maximum totals of 5 inches expected over the northern Leeward Islands, the Turks and Caicos, and southeast Bahamas. Tropical storm conditions are expected within portions of the warning area this morning through Sunday. Tropical storm conditions are possible within portions of the watch areas Sunday night. Swells generated by Laura are affecting portions of the northern Leeward Islands. These swells are expected to spread across much of the northern coast of Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, and Cuba, and much of the Bahamas during the next few days. Please consult products from your local weather office. The next complete advisory is at 5 a.m. AST, which is, I believe, like Atlantic Standard Time. So that's like Newfoundland. So it's an hour, I believe, ahead of Eastern Standard. So if Eastern Standard Time it's 3:39, it'd be 4:39. So we would get a update here pretty soon. But this is what concerns me because what I showed you guys was from Laura. So this wasn't even Marco. Now look at how they're showing that it basically bypasses Florida now. They had it going towards Florida, but now it's going to go hit Louisiana and and they're showing it forecast as a hurricane at 8 p.m. Wednesday night when it hits New Orleans. So that honestly, that should concern everybody. This is a big storm. This is no joke. Um, we've already had tropical storm force winds over all the little leeward islands, which I'm glad Antigua and Barbuda didn't get hit because they've had a hard enough time when Irma and Maria came. But now let's go look at Tropical Storm Marco because, like I said, what I all showed you, even for the tropical storm force wind speeds, they were only showing for Laura. So now we're going to talk about Marco. Now this is the storm we talked about the other night that was disorganized, that was not quite a hurricane yet. This
So wait,
storm
what did I miss
was
on Laura?
Laura. I mean, I don't know what you missed. You missed a lot. I mean, you didn't miss that much. Really, all it was talking about is how much rain certain areas are going to get, the flooding, so on and so
Do you
forth.
know what? But here's my thing that I want to say about Laura for a minute since I'm back. Sorry, I had to walk away for a minute because these things
Right.
trigger me a little bit. I'm just gonna say this: I have PTSD from Harvey, so it happens every year.
I know it is hard for you. I do understand that. Okay, so check it out. Now we're going to
But
go
can
to
I
discussion. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Then we'll do discussion number
with
9.
Laura? If here's my thing about Laura, and I'm gonna give my
Yeah,
prediction, not just from
I
following.
have one more on Laura after this.
And my thing about Laura is how I feel about it. They're saying that she's not going to be a big hurricane, but for some reason, I have a huge feeling that they're going to be.
Oh, it's showing her as a hurricane at making landfall. So
Are
it will be
are
a
they
hurricane.
saying what cat?
They're not saying what category yet, but because it's not at least they're not okay. So they only show either hurricane or major hurricane, so we know that it's below a 3 being forecast at this time. And if it were to strengthen, then we would see an M over in the little
Right.
circle in the cone. Okay, so I mean, this is going to be a big deal. So now we're going to read the discussion. This is the 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time discussion. Laura remains quite disorganized this evening. Although satellite and radar images show a fair amount of deep convection over into the northern Leeward Islands, NOAA Hurricane Hunter data and surface observations indicate that the low-level center is located well to the west of the main area of deep convection. This asymmetric structure indicates that Laura is still not vertically aligned due to at least moderate wind shear.
Okay.
And the initial intensity is held at possible generous 40 knots, and most of the strong winds are well north and east of the center. The steering pattern for Laura appears to be very well established. A subtropical ridge over the central and western Atlantic is expected to expand westward, and that should cause Laura to move west-northwestward at a very quick pace over the next few days. The storm should take it across Puerto Rico on Saturday, near Hispaniola Saturday night, and close to over Cuba Sunday and Monday. By early next week, Laura should approach the western end of the ridge that should cause the storm to slow down and turn towards the northwest over the eastern and central Gulf of Mexico. Even though the steering pattern is well established, there are still chances of center reformations, which could cause small but important track changes. Now, that's what we need to pay attention to because they just told us the secret that we need to pay attention because this will change this ridge if it doesn't get in time for the model. Let's say it doesn't move or get stalled at any point. That's going to change the track. The NHC track forecast has been adjusted to a little to the south of the previous one to account for the more southern initial position and westward motion. Near the end of the period, Laura's track could also be influenced by Tropical Storm Marco, which is also forecast to be over the Gulf of Mexico. However, the details of that interaction are highly uncertain at this time. Although the storm structure is quite ragged, the models do show Laura becoming better organized this weekend and early next week due to a decrease in wind shear and very warm waters. However, there is significant uncertainty on how much the circulation will interact with the rugged islands of Hispaniola and Cuba. If the storm is able to stay north of those islands, and some notable strengthening is possible as depicted by the HWRF and HMON models. However, As the storm moves over the islands, it might not strengthen at all until it passes through that area. The bottom line is the intensity forecast is very track dependent, which makes it more uncertain than normal. Given that the new track shows more inland interaction, this forecast shows less strengthening in the short term, but is largely unchanged in the longer forecast times. Okay, so the key messages. Tropical storm conditions are expected to cross portions of the northern Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico through Saturday. Tropical storm conditions are also expected along the northern coast of the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and the Turks and Caicos, southeastern Bahamas, Saturday into Sunday. Tropical storm conditions are possible over the central Bahamas. Details of the long-range track and intensity forecast remain more uncertain than usual since Laura's forecast to move near or over portions of the Greater Antilles through Monday. However, Laura could bring storm surge, rainfall, and wind impacts to Cuba, Bahamas, and Florida as early as next week. Interest there should monitor the progress of Laura and be ready for updates to the forecast during the next few days. And so they're saying in the next 36 hours it'll be inland, and it'll be inland for about maybe a day and a half, and then it'll be back over water. And they're talking by then it'll be 65 knots with 75 mile an hour winds, which would make it a Cat 1 hurricane in the next 120 hours.
Now, let me say something on that, okay?
Yep.
Everyone says to be ready for the latest update in the next couple of days. No, I disagree with that 100%.
Oh, they're going to
Because
come out
here's the
and say
thing.
something different. You and I both know that.
That I was getting ready to say is because let me tell you this, and I'm going to give a little short story real quick because of hurricanes since we're on the topic.
Story time with Dwayne.
When Harvey happened, we were told Harvey was not going to be as bad.
Yep.
And Scarlett knows
it was going to be a nothing burger.
And I touched down in a Harvey about 2 or 3 hours into Texas, 2 or 3 hours after the storm was over. I landed in Fort Hood, Texas. And let me tell you this. It was horrible. Buildings were toppled over. Guardrails were all over the place. Cement was all over the place. Roads were broken. Because when this thing, the last time, because it didn't just dissipate when it hit land, it grew. Because when it hit land, it was a Category 2, but the time it was done growing, it was a Cat 3, Cat 4.
No, it was not. Harvey never got over Cat 2, Dwayne.
I thought they said it did. When we got there, they said
Harvey never did. No, Harvey never
we
did.
got told different when we got hit ground.
No. Well, they lied to you because that's not what happened.
We got told that it got stronger
you knew
once
that afterwards because we debriefed you afterwards, Dwayne. It was never that strong ever. But what happened what happened was that Harvey went stationary, and that's what caused the damage.
Yeah, because they said when we got down there, that's part of the story, that it hit a Cat 3 or a Cat 4. I come back, like Scarlett said, we get done with our
it was never over a Category 2 storm at landfall.
Yeah, we get there, and I get back, and I tell Scarlett what they said, and she goes like, who told you that? I went like, the person that organized this whole thing is the only reason I'm down here, because I went with AJ. And, I mean, the way it stationary in that one spot, it destroyed about 150, 200 miles of damage.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, guys, I'm talking about buildings, houses, churches, business buildings that are probably about 100, 150 feet tall. There was glass all in the water. There was concrete in the water. And it was very unsafe for us to even rescue dive. Like, you can ask Scarlett. When I told her it was unsafe for me to even get in the water, like, Scarlett asked, why is it so unsafe. I told her concrete, glass, wood, snakes. There's a freaking crocodile in the damn water that we had to get a hold of.
Yeah, there'd be some crazy shit in the water in Texas.
And it's like you never know with these things, and this is why I never listen to the National Hurricane Center, and I never really believe
You
anything they
have
say.
to, though, to some degree, because they give you hints in what they tell you.
Some degree, but when I say wait like 5 or 6 days for another to wait to see if it takes a turn,
No,
I
because
don't ever
it's not
listen to
going to
that.
be here till then. Here's the deal. In about 3 days, they're going to say, oh, it's not going to be that bad. It'll be fine. Everybody will be fine.
It's gonna be bad.
Am I sick right now? I am having some issues with my sinuses and allergies up here, so it is rough.
I don't want
So,
to talk about alphabet agencies. I don't even want to. Don't get me started on that.
well, okay, here's the deal. I
Don't
have
get
a
me
hard
started on
time.
that, please.
Well, see, I just have to explain something because I just have a hard time believing that it's all government or HARP or geoengineering of storms, because you have to remember the effect of the grand solar minimum on storms would have the same effect. And so we know that that's occurring and would increase storms and hurricanes, right? And therefore, I do believe maybe it's not 100% one way or the other. I would think that the globalists would exploit a possibility to make people feel like it's even more something of fault, right? So I get what you're saying, but I do believe some of it is natural and it's the cycle that we're going into.
Do you know?
But
Do you know what my thing
but
is
at the
with
same
Harvey?
time too, with Harvey, remember when they turned on those fucking those fans off the coast and then they put all that steam from steam turbines up in the air?
See, and
Um
that's my thing because everybody goes like, "Oh, government agencies aren't hard to deal with." Um, you don't have to deal with them around every corner
You
we
don't have to deal with
in.
FEMA. Yeah, deal with FEMA and then say they're like just like little kittens.
Yeah, we deal with FEMA. You know what the hell happens? We get shot at.
Government don't play.
We get shot at. It's not okay. FEMA does not like us.
FEMA does not
Hey,
like
where's
any
FEMA?
citizen.
Where's FEMA at now? You fucktards.
Well, FEMA doesn't come in till
Sorry.
afterwards, Fulio.
Yeah, but we know they ain't coming this year.
They're already in California and everywhere else.
Yeah, but they're not. I have a hard time
No,
feeling.
I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be put on Front Street, um, and have a really hard time. I believe that these hurricanes are going to come whoop that ass, and people aren't going to be ready for it because every time they get them all hyped up and say, "Oh, you got to prepare, you got to prepare," and then it's going to get to the coast and it ain't going to be shit. And then what's going to happen is either this Marco is going to come and it's going to turn into a superstorm and then hit their ass, and then it's going to be all hell broke loose. So let's talk about Marco now. Okay, so here's the wind speed probabilities for Marco. Look how it's just one big blob.
Fuck that blob.
And you can see some of it from Florida coming from Laura. So tell me this ain't going to be a superstorm. The models are already showing it. They just don't want to tell people yet because people are going to freak the fuck out. Not only to have one storm in the Gulf, but have two storms in the Gulf. Not only to have two storms in the Gulf, but these bitches collide and turn into a mega superstorm. This is like literally what happened in the day after tomorrow. Meanwhile, you've got the other storm, that Genevieve, going up the coast, okay, of California on skirting on the Baja, and they show on the models a landfall in San Francisco. Now, will that be still as a hurricane or tropical storm? I don't know. but they do show the model tracks putting the storm straight into San Francisco, which honestly right now would not be a bad thing for them considering everywhere around them is on fire, but it could bring lightning, and that's what we need to be concerned about. So, like I said, this whole Marco's not looking good, but the fact that they're already showing the storms merged, because like I said, the storm ain't gonna be all the way over here. Marco ain't gonna be this part because it ain't coming from Florida. I guess it cut over the bottom through Jamaica and over to the Yucatan. So that's not even the forecast track it's made so far, right? So then and that was tropical storm force. Now hurricane force does not look like it'll make it to land. It's skirting the edge, but this could change in the next couple days, right? So arrival time of winds for tropical storm Marco will be on the Louisiana coast, the coastal islands and stuff, Sunday at 8 p.m. Earliest reasonable arrival time of tropical storm force winds is Sunday, 8 p.m. And that's for the coast of Mississippi and Alabama as well. Okay. So now we're going to go to the public advisory. You have a lot of video footage of this? Interesting. I'd like to see it. You can send it to me, station manager at freedomrevolutionnetwork.com. So it is 150 miles currently. Marco is 150 miles southeast of Cozumel, Mexico. Sustained winds at 40 miles an hour. Present movement north-northwest or 335 degrees at 13 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 105 millibars. Changes with this advisory. A hurricane watch is in effect for Punta Herrera to Cancun. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Punta Herrera to Dizlam, Mexico. A hurricane watch means that hurricane conditions are possible in the watch area within the next 24 hours. A tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area, in this case within 24 hours. For storm information specific for your area, please monitor products issued by your National Meteorological Service. At 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the center of Tropical Storm Marco was located near latitude 19.1 north, longitude 85.2 west. Marco is slightly moving towards the north-northwest near 13 miles an hour. A slightly slower northwestward motion is expected for the next day or so, followed by an increase in forward speed by early next week on the forecast track. The center of Marco will approach the east coast of the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico today. The center will then cross the northeastern part of the Yucatan Peninsula tonight and move over the central Gulf of Mexico towards the northwestern Gulf on Sunday and Monday. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles an hour with higher gusts. Additional strengthening is forecast within the next couple of days as the system approaches the Yucatan Peninsula, and Marco could be near hurricane strength when it moves over the central Gulf of Mexico on Sunday. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 70 miles from the center. Minimum central pressure estimated by 53rd Air Force Reserve Reconnaissance Aircraft Observations is 1,005 millibars. Tropical storm conditions are expected to first reach the eastern Yucatan within the warning area this afternoon and will spread northward and westward within the warning area tonight, making outside preparations difficult or dangerous. Hurricane conditions are also possible within the hurricane watch area by this evening. Eastern portions of the Mexican states of Quintana Roo and Yucatan, 3 to 6 inches. Isolated maximum totals of 10 inches. This rainfall may result in areas of flash flooding. Northeast Nicaragua and the Cayman Islands, 1 to 2 inches of rain. Next complete advisory is at 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, we're going to go to the forecast advisory. And then we'll go to the discussion. So right now they're saying they're expecting, let's go see what they're, see, because they actually put the good forecast in this one. So so about 6, 12, 18, 24, 36. Okay, at about 36 hours, the winds, maximum sustained winds will be 60 knots with gusts up to 75. So that would bring us near 70 miles an hour, almost to Category 1. Errors for track have averaged near 150 nautical miles for day 4 and 175 nautical miles on day 5, and intensity is near 15 knots each day. So if they get it off by 15 knots, and let's say it really is 75-mile-an-hour winds, we'd be forecasting a hurricane. They say request for hourly three ship reports within 300 miles of 18.7 north and 84.9 degrees west. Now we're going to look at the discussion. The Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunters, this was at 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft has been investigating the system over the Northwest Caribbean during the past few hours. The plane reported a number of flagged SFMR winds between 35 and 40 knots and a max flight level of 41 knots. A blend of these data supports an intensity of 35 knots. Therefore, the system has been designated Tropical Storm Marco. Deep convection has increased near and to the east of Marco's center during the past few hours. Although there isn't still much evidence of the inner core banding, as the data from the plane does not indicate that the center of Marco has become better defined since the afternoon and that minimum pressure has dropped. Unfortunately, the intensity forecast has not become any clearer, and confidence in that aspect of the forecast is quite low. Marco is embedded within an environment that can support a fast rate of strengthening. However, recent microwave data does not indicate that the system has developed an inner core, and only gradual strengthening is likely until it does. The intensity guidance spread is quite high, with the GFS and the ECWMF global models showing both little further strengthening, while the HMON model rapidly makes Marco a hurricane before it reaches the northeast tip of the Yucatan. That possibility cannot be ruled out, but a majority of intensity guidance favors the weaker solution of the global models, even which the HMON outlier included. The NHC intensity forecast is above model consensus. Once Marco moves over the central Gulf of Mexico, a rapid increase in wind shear associated with the upper level trough, which remember in the LoRa forecast discussion, said that's what's going to carry it in towards Marco. Remember that.
Yeah, I'm sitting here praying, God, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
A rapid increase in wind shear with an associated upper level trough should limit the potential for further strengthening. And weakening is still anticipated before Marco nears the northern Gulf Coast, as shown in the previous official forecast. They're only saying that because they know they can't say shit once it leaves over the Yucatan into the Gulf, and so they want people not to freak out yet. This is the only reason why. Let's talk maybe 12 or 36 hours from now, and let's go read this forecast discussion and see what it says. Okay, so they say confidence in the track forecast is also lower than normal, as the model spread remains quite high. Only small adjustments were made to the NHC forecast, which heavily favors the GFS and ECWMF solutions on the left side of the track guidance. It's worth noting that the NHC forecast is near the middle of the GFS and ECWMF models. Let's see. Oh, ensembles. My bad, not models. Marco is currently forecast to move northwestward towards a weakness in the subtropical ridge over the central Gulf of Mexico for the next day or two before the ridge builds and turns a tropical cyclone farther west. Near the end of the period, Marco's track intensity could also be influenced by Tropical Storm Laura, which is also forecast to be over the Gulf of Mexico. However, the details of that interaction are highly uncertain at this time, given the high uncertainty in the forecast. Larger than normal changes. Larger than normal changes. See, they're getting you ready for it now. Like I said, they always fucking do. They get you ready for it. Okay, they butter you the fuck up, and if you don't understand what they're saying to you in their little National Hurricane Center language, you don't get it, right? They're telling you now. And I'm going to repeat this one more time because I just said this is what they were going to do to you. Near the end of the period, Marco's track and intensity could also be influenced by Tropical Storm Laura, which is also forecast to be over the Gulf of Mexico. However, the details of that interaction are highly uncertain at this time, given the high uncertainty in the forecast. Larger than normal changes could be required to future advisories. Seriously.
Now look.
Now
here's
this gonna
my
be
thing,
no joke.
because I've been sitting here listening to you, and sorry,
You've done
I'm
a very
having
good job, Dwayne.
my PC PTSD is severely fucking up for one.
Oh, I'm sorry, boo.
I hate these things. And let me tell you this. The National Hurricane Center gives us tips every year. And me and Scarlett, I figured them out within the past 4 years. But let me say this, okay? I do want to say this. When you're dealing with hurricanes, sometimes them tips, me and Scarlett have seen this, are wrong. Look at
Hella
Irma.
wrong.
Irma,
Hella
all the
wrong.
tips they gave us was 100% inaccurate. That bitch didn't go anywhere they fucking said, except that bitch made a fucking left turn and a right turn, and next thing you know, it was in the Florida Keys. Which is
At
right
least
now.
they're admitting that they're admitting that they're what people think they're admitting is their computers can't see what's going to happen. What they don't want to admit is they see a really serious situation and do not know how to explain it to the people yet and are figuring out how they're going to ease that shit over on the American people during COVID.
There is really no easing.
Oh, there is. They always sugarcoat it, Dwayne. Bullshit. They always sugarcoat it.
Yeah, but they shouldn't. Now, here's the fucking thing. If you think this thing's gonna be a fucking pain in the
People
bitch,
already
then
freak out, though. Think about it. People freaked out when coronavirus happened and all the toilet paper was gone. What the hell you think's gonna happen during COVID? Damn near almost the end of the world. People feel like it's the apocalypse anyway. And now this shit's coming to whoop that ass. Where are you supposed to go? This ain't like normal years where you could just travel anywhere you want and go wherever you want to evacuate. And then if you get there, even if you, let's say you do go to a shelter, how the hell do you social distance?
you
Most people
can't.
are going to try to ride it out. And you and I
I've
both know
seen.
most people are going to ride it out.
You know what? And this is gonna be a story time. Story time with Dwayne Lanham. I'm sorry because you want to
Story
talk about
time
fucking.
with Dwayne
You want to talk.
Lenham.
You want to talk about stubborn ass fucking people during a fucking hurricane? Let me tell you something about Floridians. I'm ready to smack every single fucking Florida person there is.
Floridians, you mean?
Yeah, because every fucking year we tell them, no, you need to leave. Oh no, I'm gonna be fine. Next thing you know, you're calling complaining us because you're stuck under a tree. And I know he's a 15-year-old kid, but God, did I just want to call him a dumbass, but I couldn't. I had to be really self-staining at that point. He's like, oh, we're gonna put sandbags and boards over our windows. We'll be okay. What happens? You're sitting on your second story window crying like a baby. Scarlett, am I not lying? Scarlett muted
You ain't
herself.
lying, Dwayne.
No, because it's like every fucking year we tell someone to get the fuck out, they don't get the fuck out. Like, and see, this is why I hate hurricanes because nobody fucking listens. Yes, I'm pouting here for a minute. See, now
Okay, so
when my ass leave, no.
okay, so I went to go look back on the forecast discussion back when it was
Okay.
Tropical Depression 14. And
What is it now?
they had Tropical Storm Marco. Tropical Depression is before Tropical Storm designation.
I forgot about
Before,
that. I'm sorry.
yeah. No worries. But they admitted then at the end that they would be saying like that's showing weakening by day 4 as the cyclone approaches southeastern Texas or southwestern Louisiana coastline. Forecast remains highly uncertain, however, and users are urged to continue monitoring changes to this forecast. So they were already kind of telling people, but then not telling people. And this is how they do what they do best. They kind of tell you a little bit, they drop a few nuggets of truth in between, right? Where you might get a little bit of an idea of what's happening, but not the, full picture. And then from there, it comes and whoops that ass. I mean, they're talking, okay, let's see what this one shows. That Marco will be a tropical storm its whole lifespan, but we've seen that before too. Remember Imelda? You know, that was just supposedly a tropical depression that eventually Imelda came out of basically nowhere, but it was something. And everybody thought it was going to be nothing because it was just going to be a tropical storm. And it ended up being a lot more than they thought and bargained for. But that should be hitting by around 8 p.m. Tuesday. So we've got 8 p.m. Tuesday is when Marco would be hitting in that area. And
Right.
it's I just don't even know what to say. To see
You know what?
two hurricanes.
I'm
Hold
lost at
on. To
words.
see two hurricanes at the same time. And there is also a tropical wave. They say that the National Hurricane Center is also issuing um a outlook on disorganized showers and thunderstorms located between the west coast of Africa and the Cabo Verde are associated with the broad area of low pressure and a tropical wave. This disturbance is expected to move westward across the Cabo Verde Islands on Saturday and it will produce gusty winds. Some slow development of this could occur during the next couple of days while it moves across the eastern tropical Atlantic before environmental conditions become less favorable for development. And they're saying it's 20% chance of developing, but that's also what Marco was a few days ago. And then here, boom, right? And exactly, MGTOW. They stall them out to make them stronger because if they sit over that hot, hot, hot Gulf water or Caribbean water or wherever this happens to be, it has more time to churn. It has more time to take the energy out of the water. And so that's absolutely right. But what concerns me at this point is they're going to literally be coming in on each other almost at the same time. And that should scare people. I mean, I just don't even know what to say. You know, the storm waves out there are already um significant wave heights. Individual waves might be twice the size of significant wave height. Now listen to what they're saying. Some seas at this point, Tropical Storm Nora near 17.0 is 63.5 degrees west at 108 millibars, moving west-northwest. Literally seas 12-foot or greater within 30 nautical miles northwest and southeast quadrants, 90 nautical miles northeast with seas 17 feet. Okay, and they said they could be off and individual waves could be twice that height. So you're talking 40-foot waves. Okay, in certain areas of this storm. All right, and then they say errors might be large for extended outlook. I mean, how could you even survive something like that? You know, if it's even double, and the seas are going to be 8 to 10 feet for Marco, and they could be double that. And seas could be, 12 to 13 feet other places, but the actual wave height is going to be 8 to 10. Like, what the hell? How do you even survive that? I don't think you couldn't be out there. But that just shows you like how powerful these storms are if they're churning waves that are 40 fucking feet in the air. I mean, that's incredible when you really think about that. Incredible.
We've never
It's
seen waves like that.
I mean, not that they've been reporting on openly. So I'm just beyond blown away right now. And then besides that, we've got all of the fires in California. I mean, at this point, all the fires in California, a lot of firefighters and first responders are going to be tied up in the fires. And if this hurricane happens and there's a lot of loss of life, then who do you send?
Right.
I mean, you could say, oh, well, you would send people like, Dwayne and I, who have
Ah,
done dispatching.
you know what? And here's my thing. Since you bring that up, it
Hmm.
is sad that you have to tell your significant other that you might be going to another state after you see each other and you don't know when you're going to be able to talk to them again.
Right.
You know, that's what makes me angry. Because Scarlett can't go out there. And can I afford it? No, but do I do it anyways, knowing that I can group up with people, like which what I did in the Army. I didn't have the money for it, but I grouped up with people, right people, and thank God it's Scarlett that will get me hooked up with the right people. But here's the thing: how do you tell? Sit there and sorry, I'm gonna fucking cry for a minute.
Aww.
How the fuck do you tell your significant other or your mother you're going to a very bad part of your country, of the fucking place you live, and say it might be 3-4 weeks before you hear from them again?
Right.
You know, because you go out there to help people, not expecting the worst, like we've always done. You get there, and I'm sorry, and this is just PTSD moments, I guess, is why I'm kind of talking for a minute. How do you tell them that you might not see them for a month or two?
I mean, it's not the easiest thing, but people do it every day. I mean, people have, people who go into the military or, so it happens.
And I'm not talking about a whole state. I just know some Floridians are fucking stubborn. Like Miami. You can ask Scarlett. Nobody from Miami left. Everybody stayed.
We can make pretty good discernment when we've had to rescue people in Florida as well as work hurricanes in Florida. They are some of the most stubborn people for evacuation, is really all Dwayne is trying to say. It's not
Y'all are really stubborn.
Yeah, it's not even a bad thing because you can choose what you want to do, right? But as far as like for safety purposes, it's just not safe. I'm just sick right now. So here's the latest. We're gonna talk about one of the fires in California. So here's the latest SCU lightning complex incident. Okay. It's approximately 20 separate fires broken into 3 zones: the Canyon Zone, the Calaveras Zone, and the Deer Zone. Firefighters took advantage of cooler temperatures and higher humidity this morning as a marine layer moved inland. Air temperatures warmed back into the mid 80s to low 90s for the active fire area, with humidity values 22 to 32%. Nighttime humidity will greatly vary between the different zone and elevations. Expect lower humidity in the upper elevations of the complex throughout the night, with no decrease in fire activity. Visibility on the Calaveras Canyon Zone is greatly diminished due to smoke from fires. Fire-weakened timber continues excuse me, to release in block roadways as well as producing rollout into the steep drainages. Tonight, crews will continue to build indirect and direct fire line where access points are safe. The protection of sensitive wildlife and critical power and communication infrastructure remains a top priority. The Deer Zone has the Round Fire, Palm Fire, Marsh Fire, and Briones Fire. The Calaveras Zone, which is Alameda County, Santa Clara County, and Stanislaus County, has the Kikari Fire, Arroyo Fire, Mill Creek Fire, Welch Fire, Olone Fire, and Reservoir Fire. And the Canyon Zone, which is Stanislaus County and San Joaquin County, Peg Leg Fire, Terraville Fire, Del Puerto Fire, and Peach Fire. There are so many people evacuated. I would like to know how many people are evacuated in total out of all of the different complex fires that exist. I don't know if anybody gives that data. But it would be interesting to find out because I feel like people aren't leaving. People don't want to leave. And where do you go in a fire? And a lot of people have been waiting till the last minute. A guy had ended up getting pinned in his garage underneath his motorcycle and literally almost died. Oh, we love you too, Grant. No matter what. Like, we're a family, so we can have disagreements or, not see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean we still don't care about each other, right?
Yeah, and I'm not
But,
sitting there putting people down, and I want you to know that. It's just with
oh,
some of
yeah.
the calls I've heard with, I think with Florida, I dealt alone with Scarlett. I think in a day and a half, or it was a day over 125 calls. You guys really, the one thing is me and Scarlett put so much into this. The week of Irma, we dispatched over 425 calls,
Oh, at least.
and that's probably about 100 plus a day. There were some days we had 100 plus a day. There was days where Scarlett had my
I'll be right back.
had my Google number and would call me, going like, Dwayne, you need to get up because I just went to bed. There was days that my medical team leader called me, going like, Dwayne, I kind of need you awake. There was days that I got told that you're not going to bed because of the fact that um you know and we do speak up, dude. We get hard on people. I mean, we get hard and we speak up. And a lot of people tell us we don't know our facts, we don't know what we're doing, we don't know. They literally do say we don't know what we're doing because they're like, well, we've ridden through worse. But when you get smacked with a category, I'm gonna look. I'm fact checking myself.
What are you looking up, Dwayne?
Hurricane Irma hit Florida as a Category 4. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you.
Right, Irma. Yep. Irma.
That's what I was talking about. And Grant, no, we're assholes when we're trying to get people to leave. Like, you can ask Scarlett. I've told people, how fucking retarded can you be? And then get told to walk away because I'm being too hard.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, Dwayne, we have to remember that it's everybody's choice, right?
Right, but
So,
I'm telling Grant that I do get, I do get harsh and I do get hard.
right?
But there's only so much I can do as a human being that lives in Ohio, working over a walkie-talkie app on my phone, and people don't take us. They
They take
take
us
us for granted.
seriously, but I think they take us for granted is what it is. I think they don't realize the seriousness of the issues of which we try to convey to them. And then that's why we're always there for them when the shit hits the fan. But I wish people would just take heed because it's so much easier to just bring your most important things. And hell, you could try, as long as most policies, when you buy an insurance policy, right?
Right,
Besides, besides hurricane season, that's something you got to buy before hurricane season starts.
right,
And so people got to really start thinking about that, like in January, February. Get your hurricane insurance because you can't get it now. Because you have to, I think there's like a 30-day grace period you have to wait before a hurricane policy comes in effect. So it's not like you can, go and get your house covered or anything like that. But what you can do is try to bring your most important items in your vehicle, and at least you should have, maybe you could get some coverage on your renter's insurance or something to replace your effects. But as far as that goes, you got to just realize that life is too precious to worry about material items.
right, and
Even
and
if
the
you
reason I
lose all
think,
those material items, I mean, I get why it
right,
could be upsetting, especially if you're losing pictures or memorabilia or things that you can't replace from people who are gone, or, things of that nature. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, would you rather have those items or would you rather have the person because you have the memory of said items?
and I'm gonna say this real quick, is the reason Florida is so stubborn is because they've had 23 hurricanes hit them, all going all the way back till the last one they have on record is
Michael?
no, the first one that ever hit Florida would have been 1919.
Oh yeah, I
Florida
know, but I
Keys
was saying the
hurricane.
last one that actually hit.
The
But
last one that
maybe
they have actually hitting was Dorian.
hmm? Dorian? Oh yeah. That
Yeah,
did
because that was
hit.
2019. Because
Yeah.
Irma was 2017, Michael was 2018, Dorian was 2019, and I think that's the only one that really hit Florida then. Tropical storm. I remember hearing about tropical storms. Jose. I heard he was not a little. He was. But you know, and here's my thing.
They always
You,
talked about Hurricane Andrew when I was a little girl.
you know, and I've always heard about
That
the first
happened in
hurricane.
1995, and that was the first one of the first like one of the few Cat 5s. I shouldn't say first, but one of the few Cat 5s that hit Florida.
You know, and the first hurricane I ever heard of or heard about was Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, right. That really got me
And
into the
watching
news
the,
too. That was the first time I really realized that the government was not going to save you. Because like
you know,
I
and
was
I heard
so
about that. I thought,
I wish that like what we do now existed then, because I would have had a totally different perspective, because I literally lived for the broadcast that talked about what was happening and talked about what was going on. And I watched like NBC News every night. I watched everything I ever could about it because it was just a mass failure at all levels of government, just a mass failure. As Ron used to say, cops were leaving and looting and taking things, and they never ended up getting caught. They were stealing police cars. They were stealing um all types of things. You
you know,
know,
and the reason I heard of Katrina is because I watched the show the Night Watch. It's a paramedic show, and they showed some of the damages. Uh oh shit, what is his name? Dan, who was one of the EMS that actually worked, and they videotaped live, incidents, and they've showed some of the damages that they're still going through today. They're still saying today that New Orleans, Louisiana, has still not fully recovered
no,
from
there's still
her,
neighborhoods that are completely like demolished, and so many people died there that they'll never
you know,
admit died.
and they were in, and Dan and Titus were saying for the longest years, they didn't have a paramedic station for their paramedics to go in and sit down and eat and stuff. Remember during one season, they just reopened the new one. They bought it, they redid it.
Yeah. And that was
I would be okay.
2005.
I would be okay if the government wouldn't save me. Just don't kill me and loot my shit like in New Orleans.
That's what I'm saying. But if I need saving, why isn't the government there to save me though? Because people sat on their roofs for fucking days and could not get off their fucking roofs and were stuck in the Superdome with subhuman conditions and, literal, sewage everywhere and just, you know what I mean? Like, if you need to be saved, where the fuck is the government? Now, I get most people probably could have in most situations probably toughed it out a little bit more. And what everybody feels like bug out is a little bit different to everybody else, right? But what the hell? If I need the government to come save me, they should be there. And I get it might not be today or tomorrow, but it shouldn't have been weeks. And it shouldn't have been how many people died. That's for sure.
Holy shit.
What?
I'm scrolling through Facebook. This was hold on, let me turn my brightness down. This was
Yeah.
4 fucking days ago.
What was 4 days ago? Where was that?
Uh Someone said Cali.
Yeah,
Someone
California
said
fires are messed
Cali.
up.
Someone said Portland. Someone said that it's a 3-house fire. It's on a A&E live rescue page I'm on. And dude, they post, dude, if you guys have Facebook, go to A&E live rescue, dude. They post so many fucking natural disasters. They post so many.
That would be
So
dope.
much
We
crap.
should be on that. That'd be cool to be on that show.
What counterintelligence or what live
Who's
rescue?
counterintelligence? I was always intelligence when Dwayne and I did our
He was
when we
the
were in our
director
civilian.
of Intel.
I was director of intelligence, so
No, I don't care. I got dipped out of my position. You know I
counterintelligence
did,
sometimes is my
bro.
specialty.
You know, and I want to rant here for a fucking minute.
Go on a rant, Dwayne.
Once Matt stepped down, Scarlett, you knew I got dipped because I was the next one on fucking line.
You did get gypped. I'm not gonna lie.
I got gypped. I was mad. Matt wasn't fucking around. I was the one getting woken up at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Right?
Not Matt. Not Scuba Nurse. Not fucking Jason's stupid ass. Ugh. I hate that man so much. Bad enough I just fucking ripped my gummy worm in half of my teeth.
Wow, violence, gummy worm abuse, gummy worm
Look,
abuse, gummy worm abuse.
His head and it literally has a little face.
You're evil, Dwayne.
I'm mad.
Wow.
Fucking hurricane season. I'm not with our fucking team right now. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Not having a fucking team is
I know
driving
what the
me
fuck I'm
fucking
doing.
insane.
I know not having a team right now does drive me insane right now because right now we'd be getting ready, getting a game plan. We do need to bring the band back together, so to speak, but we got to get new people and new recruits. So if people want to work on a civilian rescue group, we'll need
Join
all
the
different types of
2020
people.
join the 2020 disaster response group on Facebook
Or Zello.
or Zello.
Yeah. And join us, and we can get places for everybody. Like, you don't have to physically necessarily go into the storm, but we have many different positions for different people and to have a role in helping.
Setting up food stations, water stations. If you guys have medical, I don't care
Even
who you are.
recruiting people who can be
That's
physical
my
boots on
job.
ground. You know, it doesn't have to be just, oh, I get in my car and I go to the hurricane and I help. It can be that. You can
That's
get
what I do.
grapple operator jobs that are like $25 an hour and shit after hurricanes. Like, there is an industry that has to clean up all the shit after a hurricane. They just don't leave that shit there, and it doesn't just pick up by itself. And it's not the city who does it either.
Ooh, that was sour as shit.
But
I did a clear one and a green one together.
so, it's one of those things where it just makes me nervous. I'm just
You nervous? Be in my shoes
2020
for a
can
minute.
2020 just can't just throw any more shit at us, can it? Can it? Like,
Can we have the Jumanji board back? I've been saying this since fucking January.
I feel like we need to get something back, some form of sanity or semblance of.
What fucking happened to level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10? We're on like level 75 by now.
Bruh, we've got locked in the game. Somebody lost the board. Yeah,
Probably
I
one of them
mean,
damn
maybe
kids.
the election. Damn you, MGTOW, because you know what? I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's just a whole nother level of stress that,
I
like,
don't want to fucking talk about the fucking election. Nope.
oh, Scarlett already did one election cycle
Biden's gonna win.
on air,
We're fucked.
and I don't know if Biden's gonna win. I don't know about that. It's been
Biden's winning by
interesting that
3%.
that's what polls say, but fuck a poll. Poll error rating is 3%.
Yes, I'm being violent right now. I'm sorry. I'm
So
not.
polls ratings are 3%, so you can't even use that. I'm trying to get this.
You know what? And here's the thing. Y'all can ask Scarlett this anytime I hear the word hurricane. I hear landfall. I hear damage. You can ask her. My mood goes from being in a great mood where I'm a fucking bitch the rest of the day.
True. But yeah, because I mean, I feel
Because
like does
Scarlett wasn't the
COVID
one that had to get shot
disappear?
at.
Well, does COVID disappear after the election? Do the hurricanes disappear after the election?
And if it
Do the
does and we go
fires
back to normal,
disappear after the election?
and if it
Like,
does and we go back to normal, I'm gonna be pissed.
well,
I'm
you
gonna be
know,
fucking pissed.
well, they have to find something really good to get people all scared because, but what I've been hearing though, this is the encouraging part. What I've been hearing though, I don't know if it's encouraging actually, because let's be real, both of them have extreme flaws, some more than others, but they're both pretty much shit candidates.
Shut up, Migto.
But
Shut up. No. No.
no.
No.
Um, but
Migto.
what I've
Migto,
been hearing,
no.
hold on, but what I've been hearing from like
I'm
truck
so mad.
drivers and people across the country is that they have seen so much support for Trump, it has been unreal. So
Dude, I live across from a Trump
are we
supporter.
really going to have that effect, or is it going to be Biden, or is it going to be another large push for Trump because the silent majority who didn't even vote the last time will vote this time? Because you got to think about it. I
I
think it
hate the
was only
silent
like
majority.
60 million votes up, per candidates, right? So maybe like 120 million total votes. I believe that there's like over 270 million potential eligible voters, right? So,
Can I say this to Migto?
no, don't interrupt me. If there's about that many potential voters, we really have to think about who the silent majority could be that comes out of the woodwork. Now you can say it.
Migto, I'm so mad at you right now.
I
You
mean,
just
that
made
is
my
a lot.
you made my blood boil so bad. Because here's the
You
thing, if
gotta stop letting people
because
phase you, dude.
no, it's not. I'm mad at him
No, I
directly.
know
I'm mad
you're
that
not mad
he.
at Big Toe, but you're mad at the message. But don't even react to the message.
My thing is, if Pelosi becomes president, my ass is moving to fucking Canada. I'm out. I'm gone.
I might be
I'm
gone too.
gone.
I'm not gonna lie.
Scarlett, we going to
There's
Canada,
been
girl.
some. Yeah, I got a place to go. The truth is inconvenient, is really what it
The
comes down
truth
to.
sucks.
Because people don't want to live within the truth. This is why they're creating this COVID cloud of lies, okay, that they want people to just float away on. And
Pandemic.
yeah, that they want to just float away. Yeah, because we covered Event 201 in fucking January. Fucking January.
I remember that.
Okay?
Why do I remember that?
Like, January we covered Event 201. Jeez.
Oh my god.
Like, if I, Scarlett, can figure this out and find the virology papers and find out that the Wuhan lab of virology was actually manipulating coronavirus to get it inside human bodies and human test subjects in December of 2019. And they wrote a whole clinical paper on that, admitting that they were looking for vectors and ways to get it into the human system. And then all of a sudden,
Tried to blame
there's
the
a
US
leak
for it.
there's a leak of coronavirus that is supposed wet market, of which patient zero was never at the wet market, of which how can you have an outbreak that originates somewhere if patient zero was never there to begin with?
And then tried to blame the US for when we went for the
When they
World
went there
War
for the
game.
military games, yes, then tried to blame us for the military games. But then, did we do it? Was it our biological weapon? Because Fauci and Obama funded the Wuhan lab of virology.
And Bill Clinton. Not Bill Clinton, but what was his Bill Gates.
No, Fauci and Obama.
And Bill Gates was caught there. They got a picture of it. Gates was there.
Well,
Gates
I'm
is
sure he
behind the
was
scheme.
he was Fauci's uh
Right
college
hand man.
roommate.
And now he's his right hand man because he stepped away from fucking Microsoft to do
Yes,
virus
he
work.
did. And he stepped away from Microsoft right before coronavirus came on scene, which I
Because what
find hella suspect.
last year they had a coronavirus uh
Event
convention.
201. Event 201. I
Yeah.
just said that.
You know what? And here's my thing. Like
That was the
2020,
live tabletop exercise. And they just came out with a new documentary that is completely banned. Okay, completely banned. You can't even talk about it on Facebook. You can't talk about it on TikTok. You can't talk about it on any large social media.
I've talked about
Okay,
it on TikTok.
the movie is called Plandemic Indoctrination.
I want to watch that
So
movie.
Indoctor, like Doctor Nation. Okay, you can find it at peeps.tv, which I know some of the people over at peeps.tv. They're good people. They used to be hosts of mine when I was station manager over at Freedomizer. Good people, right? So check out their documentary that they did just a few days ago that literally within 2 hours Facebook was giving a message that said this URL cannot be scraped. So they weren't even allowing it for be posted in links because people were posting it like fucking wildfire. And I mean rapid wildfire. And so they felt, hold on, you got to get that off the screen. So they felt as if that this movie was so threatening that they couldn't even let you have the link. That's how dystopian in 1984 we're living. That's why I like the people. There was a few companies and a few people out there who came up with the COVID 1984 shirts because it's so dystopian. It's so draconian. It's so fucked up that you can't even imagine that this shit is happening right now. Like, seriously, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's like Twilight Zone of Twilight Zone, right? And yeah, I am just like lost at this point. I don't know. I'm not lost
You know
in
what?
as
I'm
far as like
sitting
my
here reading.
direction in life, but what are you reading?
You, I'm reading this, and I want to read this for me because it kind of goes back to taking the temperature of people on the forehead. Listen to
Oh, right,
this.
right, right.
Taking temperatures of people, and why do we aim at the forehead when temp can be done on the right hand? Some interesting and important information about this infrared thermometers that are being used to take temperatures mass these days. From an Australian nurse, I am really worried. I've started implementing the new protocols in Forks. One of my new tasks is taking and recording each person's temperature. I aim for the center of the forehead with my thermometer-shaped gun. I pull the trigger, wait for the beep, and record the temperature. I always apologize to the person before proceeding. After doing this a dozen more times, I suddenly had a realization. After we are being desensitized to be targeted at the head and also causing potential health issues by aiming an infrared ray of the pineal gland, which is used for, by the way, the secretion of hormone melatonin, regulation of endorphin functions, conversions of nervous system signals. So endorphin signals causes sleepiness, influence sexual development, influences immune system function, and antioxidant activity. So I went down a little bit just to say what that kind of does. Um, So I started taking the temperatures on the wrist, which turned out more accurate given the forehead is cooler than the wrist, and the results differ by more than 1 degree in some cases. I went to a shopping mall, and people were lining up to get the temperatures taken by an employee who was obviously not a medic and was not probably educated on how to correctly perform this procedure. Many were shocked when it was my turn. I took the gun that was being directed at my forehead and redirected to my wrist. I spoke softly but firmly and told the employee that an infrared thermometer must never be pointed at someone's forehead, especially babies and young children. In addition, it requires basic knowledge of how to properly read someone's temperature, i.e., placing the thermometer on the wrist or elbow fold is much more accurate and less harmful. It is very disturbing to me to observing children getting used to seeing an object in the shape of a gun aiming at their forehead and without any negative reaction from adults if this was normal and acceptable. As a medical professional, I refuse to directly target the pineal gland, which is located directly in the center of the forehead, with an infrared ray. However, most people agree to go through this several times a day. Our pineal glands must be protected as it is crucial for our health. And now, the pineal gland, this is explaining what the pineal gland is. The pineal gland is a small pine cone shaped gland of the endorphin system. Its structure of Diencephalin of the brain, the pineal gland produces the hormone melatonin. Melatonin influences sexual development and a sleep-wake cycles. The pineal gland is composed of cells called pineal. I can't pronounce this fucking word. I'm a medical person. Pie pinealocytes, and cell of the nervous system called glial cells. The pineal gland connects the endocrine system with the nervous system in that it converts nerve signals from the sympathetic system of the peripheral nervous system into hormone signals. And over time, calcium ion deposits build up in the pineal, and its accumulation can lead to calcification in the elderly. Ask yourself, it is ever wise to aim an infrared light at the pineal gland, and that's the picture she used. Oh, my phone went black.
Well, that's just it, because we're being treated like cattle, and
because they kill cows by shooting them in the forehead with a stem gun.
Yeah.
Which is why in a lot of cases now, because I've been doing this study of my own, that more people that have said they've got this things, this infrared thing on their hand, they've said that my sex drive has went down, or my sex drive is severely active. I have a boner all day long. I can't get rid of it. No matter what I do. Yeah, dude, with people saying they've had this thing put to their head. Because the pineal gland is what endorses hormones.
Right.
Is what endorses melatonin. Melatonin is the key part in sexual hormones. That's a fact check for everybody.
Oh yeah, everybody fact check Dwayne real quick, because I feel like I don't know if that's true.
I just read it. Do I gotta read it again?
Did it specifically say sexual hormones?
Yes, I will find it again on Red's page. I backed out of Red's page.
It said sexual hormones.
Wait a minute.
Because not all hormones are sexual. You see.
The pineal gland functions: secretion of the hormone melatonin, regulation of endorphins, conversion of nervous system signals to endorphin signals, causes sleepiness, influence sexual development. Which, and still, hormones.
Okay, but that's like when your balls drop, though.
Not always. Because
sexual development for you would be when you become sexually mature. That's what sexual development is.
But it also screws with people's hormones.
Right. But
when you're having sex, what do you think? When you're having sex, what do you think endorphins are running around all over the fucking place?
Yeah, but okay, not the same. But anyway, continue doing.
But people have said with this happening, their sex drive has either went up or all the way down. They've had boners consistently all day, and they don't take anything like that. And I'm sitting here going like, what the fuck? I never let someone put a fucking thing in my head.
Right.
I won't even let my work record my temperature. Like, it's none of your fucking business.
Well, the temperature thing is bullshit. Oh, you know what movie I was watching last night?
Movie were you fucking watching last night? B for Vendetta?
I Am Legend.
Nope. Dude, nope. Because that's every gamer's dream. That is my dream right there, to have a zombie apocalypse. And I feel it's coming. And if I start to get killing fucking zombies, I'm going Call of Duty Black Ops. One of them motherfuckers. I swear to God.
The interesting why I brought it up after you talked about pineal glands and like checking the foreheads, right? They did that in the movie. And
hold on.
Oh shit. Damn it. Dwayne, come back. Damn it, Dwayne. Billy, are you watching? I hope you're watching right now. If you're not, where's my Dwayne's having a seizure banner? God damn it. You all right, Dwayne? Come on, Dwayne. Come back. Dwayne. 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 Come on, bud. Come back to us. Dwayne. Come back to us, bud. Dwayne. Hey, buddy. Dwayne.
Mm, 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 mm.
Hi, bud. Thanks. Well, you're good. You come back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
You need to turn the light off?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Oh, probably just too much of a PTSD flare up is what happened.
Right. Don't get stressed out over it.
That's the hurricanes that are stressing me to high hell.
I know, but there's nothing we can do to control it, Dwayne. I mean, it'd be different if it was a situation you could control. You know. What happened?
I gotta fix my headset because the settings on it got all fucked up.
Oh, all jacked
God
up.
damn it. Okay. We're good.
Okay. Get it together. Um,
I'm
yeah.
good, guys. I have seizures. More so likely now than often.
True. Well,
Grant,
you'll
if
have
you
the way. Yeah, I was gonna say the way we have to like set things up. We'd have to like send you a link.
I can just put it in
Maybe
the
you could give me.
chat.
Well, yeah, I guess you could.
And that's what you did before.
I did. That's true.
Word.
That's not what I was thinking, but yeah, that's a good idea.
I can't direct message him on YouTube. YouTube won't let me do that no more.
No, you'd have to put it in the chat.
That's what I'm doing. Da, 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 da. Paste StreamYards. There you go. Click that link that you guys see in the
Yeah,
chat.
everybody could join. Anybody who wants to join can join. We can have, I think, like 10 people.
We
So,
can have 10 people now. Yeah.
so we could have 8 more, including us.
I did drop it in, Grant. It's the StreamYard.com YC6RASPMCW link. You copy and paste that, click it into your browser. It's going to ask you to click the 3 dots, and it will say open in Chrome or
You'll have to
redirect you to
sign
Chrome.
in as, yeah, you'll have to sign in with either like Facebook or another social media site like Google, and then they will let you change your name and then you can come up. So that's how it works. It's quite simple. But I shouldn't have sat like that for so long. I hurt myself.
Bro, wow. Wow.
What do I?
Ain't this just God working? 12 hours ago in a 5-day prophetic worship intensive group I'm in. Hello, worship family. Anyone interested in doing street evangelism with our church? We are needing of some musicians. Location is Brooklyn, New York, Sunset Park area. Please let me know if anyone is interested so I can provide further details.
Yes,
Bro,
Revival Nation.
I just took
Hashtag
a
Revival
whole
Nation.
5-day prophetic worship intensive group by Rick Pino and Tim Wells.
Okay.
And
Oh,
let
by
me
the way,
tell
you guys, Tim moved.
yes,
He
speaking
should
of
be
Tim, he
back
did move.
soon. He did move. So everybody moved. Like I'm gonna call it the Great Exodus from Colorado because Mel and Tim moved within like the same 10-day period, like maybe 14-day period. So in the same 2-week period. And so Tim is now in the Midwest again, which he said he would never go back. I'm so surprised he did. But I like every Midwesterner knows deep down, like if they leave, they're gonna come back if things aren't good. I mean, he tried
Right.
to do his best out there for as many years as he could. So we're really excited that Tim is in a good place. He's got some support there. And so we're really excited for him.
And the one thing is that I love about this 5-day prophetic worship is it's brought me closer to God.
Right.
Because we sit there for about 25, 30 minutes doing nothing but worship
Mm-hmm.
in learning how to hear God and prophesize. And I kind of said this about you yesterday, Scarlett, when I was talking to my mom.
What?
With everything that you've called this year, I swear to God, you're a prophet. I swear to God, you are. Because you've called
Man,
everything
there's
to the
me.
T. Bro, you've called everything to the T, and it scared me.
Well, I
Lockdowns,
like
vaccines, Biden running for presidency. You called Bill Gates last year stepping down from Microsoft.
right.
And I don't know, man. It's just I don't know, and I got that weird feeling with my mom. And I told my mom, like, I swear to God, you're a prophet.
Right. Well, I like to think myself as a forecaster of trends. So I just watch patterns, but then I also feel like there are messages that are brought to me that aren't necessarily implied or spoken. So I do feel like there's some help in that direction. Now, would I say profit? I don't know if I would personally say that. Um, but I will say that, like when I'm on with Tim or like Bonnie or, a few other people, they're always like, Scarlett's always right. And that's a really scary thing for me to hear that, especially too, because some of these people are elder than me, right? And so for them to say that, and they're not saying it facetiously, it's a creepy place to be, right? When you're so right at things that it's almost scary.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Grant, if you can get in, I know Migto knows how to get in.
Yep,
I
McTow knows how to
know
get in. Yeah, and
Migto's
anybody
been
else
on
who's
here.
watching right now as well, feel free.
There are rules. By the way, speaking of donations, if you want to donate to the revolution, go to freedomrevolutionnetwork.com. Click the donate
That is
button. It's not just shows like Clarity After Dark. You have the Night Talk. You have the original Red Pill Show. You have Liberty Librarian. You have Journey into Freedom, which right now we don't know what's going on with that, so stay tuned because of the whole
well,
situation going on with Red.
yeah, that's why we weren't there last week.
We don't know
Um,
with it getting worse if it's going to be there
if we're gonna be
this
there this
week.
week, but we'll
Um,
try to. I'll talk to Red about that.
I'm normally on with Red because Scarlett's at the farm. And for all of you
At
who
least for
did
the
not,
first hour, we've been able to
uh,
get out pretty quickly lately.
and for all of you that were wondering why Dwayne went on a week hiatus for once in his life, Dwayne needed to take a mental health break because my mental health went from here to here within like a day. So I became snappy and irritable until my fiance checked me. We're not leaving. We're just we're just sitting here bullshitting now. I mean, we covered really everything we were going to talk about, which is weird. We never cover everything in 2 hours.
Usually a show that's how it works. Um,
Now we're just bullshitting
but
like we
no,
normally
that's
do.
true. Well, here's
We
the deal. We've got so much going on that we can't really dwell on it because we know the next thing is going to happen. That's going to be the next, super serious situation. I mean, literally, we've been like flying at the seat of our pants since January. I
right.
mean, it has not let up since January. It's one thing after another: murder hornets, methagators, cannibal rats, um, coronavirus,
Hurricane,
mask police,
fire tornado.
hurricanes, fire tornadoes, The
Possibly a
derecho,
fire.
extreme weather, extreme hail, flooding.
The Annabelle doll
Um,
gone missing.
Annabelle doll goes missing. Like
None of us had that
bunch
in
of
our 2020
murders,
bingo cards.
bunch of murders at Fort Hood. There was another guy who just went missing at Fort Hood.
You know what? And there was I just saw this on the news. One dude drove all the way from California to about 1,700 miles to kill a person he played with on Call of Duty.
You better be careful, Dwayne.
Bro, I know how to set my IP address up so it can't be shown, and I get a notification on my phone because
Riots. Oh my god, I forgot about the riots, McToad. Like the riots.
oh
That could
my
have its
god.
own fucking like section. You know what I mean? The riots
That
alone.
bro, that was the longest 3 days of mental health for me that I've ever done.
See, I was
Them
cool. Like it was I mean it was
girl, you
intense.
almost got burned alive. I don't want to talk about it.
I did not get burned alive.
And you almost got
Dwayne
blown
thought I
up.
died, y'all.
I
Right, right.
thought
I was
Scarlett
gonna
got
say
you almost got
well, to be fair, it was really good, like theatrical theater, I guess, because it was like boom, and we're like, oh shit, and
and then next you
then
know Scarlett's gone.
explosion, and then yeah, and then I didn't have any more service, and then I think like the phone had died or something even, so it was like
And then
perfect
Dwayne had a
timing. It
mental
was like
breakdown and a seizure.
boom, explosion, and then like I'm walking down the street and I like had a little bit of charge in my battery pack, so I plugged my phone back in. And Dwayne's like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" Like, and I'm like, "Dwayne, it's okay."
I was worried about
Well,
TLO
yeah, and
more
you're
than my
right. I mean, at least the riot's here for us because life has pretty much returned to normal here in Minneapolis. But as far as
Portland's not done.
Portland
Seattle
ain't done. They're what are they on now? Like day 86 or something like that?
Seattle's trying to take over the second precinct again.
Are they? Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Fucking
I'm late on
they
my
want
riot
another
payment.
chop. They want another chop. Or another
Why do they want
Chaz, whatever
another
it was.
chop? It was the Chaz and then it was the chop. Or was it the chop first and then the Chaz?
It was a chop
I
first
don't
in the
know.
Chaz. Then you have the walk from Scarlett, you probably don't know about this one. The walk from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to DC.
Really? What are they marching for?
They're marching up to hear not Abraham, but Martin Luther King the third speak.
I was gonna say Abraham Lincoln. Bitch.
Martin Luther King the third is speaking.
Oh, okay. When's he
It's
speaking?
the day of the infamous "I Had a Dream" speech, August 28th.
Oh, wonderful. That's coming up then.
I wanted to go to it, but I'm not allowed to leave state at this point.
Yeah, you
Baby
gonna
mom's
walk
trick
over there?
rolls. Baby mama rules. I still do it anyways. Hey, me and my friends are planning a trip to New York City next March.
That'll be fun.
We're hoping COVID's over
If
by
we
then.
ever get to be able to travel again, which I don't know if we ever will, but if we do, I would like to go to like an island or somewhere tropical.
I want to go to
That's
the
where I would.
Bahamas.
I would like. I'd like to go to like Antigua.
You know what?
That would be dope.
I won this 5-day trip last
Or
year,
one of the
okay?
islands in the Lesser Antilles. That would be dope.
So do you know the things they have in the malls and everything, like where you can win trips and everything?
Right.
My name
Where
got
they
drawn.
like call
They
you and then they like tell you you
they
win and blah
texted
blah.
me and they said since COVID's going on and since cruise ships are open, yeah, oh, you didn't hear about that, did you? Cruise
What?
ships are coming back.
What? Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. We found out that them are fucking floating petri dishes for real. Like not like community spread, but like super spreaders in this bitch. And folks were already getting sick on cruise ships before this, so I trust nothing.
I'm not. I'm not taking
What?
the chance. I'm giving it to somebody else.
You couldn't pay me enough to get on a fucking cruise ship. You
I'm
couldn't pay
trying.
me enough.
I'm gonna try to go to Kalahari this year. Is what I want to do.
Oh, that's fun, like Wisconsin Dells.
So Kalahari is a big water resort inside.
Yeah, it's one. There's one in the original is in Wisconsin Dells.
So I was trying to talk Kenzie into going to that, and I might still try to talk her into going to Kalahari because it's about the same for the 5 nights that we're spending down in. Yeah, my
Yeah,
200,
Wisconsin Dells is fun.
my $206 room. Yeah, no, it's not an actual B&B. It's a fucking room. Yeah, and I talked to other people about it, and they said single rooms are sketchy as shit.
Yeah, but not all of them are single rooms, so we could talk about that later. But anyway,
But I'm trying to go to
point being,
Kalahari sometime either this year or next year because I've never been to Kalahari. I have, but it was
somebody I know is actually there this week. A friend, the friend that lives up like a little bit further
oh,
up north
and then
by
movie
Grand
theaters
Prairie.
have opened back up.
Now that's okay because usually you just sit in your seat and you're not like bothering anyone else, you know.
And then Ohio went back to the 10, no more than 10 people gathering in a place. But
Womp
protests are allowed to happen.
womp.
So I'm looking at my governor going like, you're a fucking bitch.
DeWine is a little bitch. So is
And
Walt.
then I'm going to let y'all make fun of me here for a minute because this is funny as shit. My sister and Kenzie made a bet last time she was
Of
here.
which
So, and I sent Scarlett this picture last night. Wayne ended up shaving his armpits last night.
I didn't see that picture. Where was that?
I sent it to you. It was the one with me and Kenzie on the phone. You did look at it.
What? What?
I'll resend it to you. Hold on.
I'm looking right now.
Da,
Just a
da, da, da.
second. Look at right now. What the
I'm gonna send it
shit?
to you. Hold on,
Okay, hold on. Oh, you
because
did! Ah! I see it! Ah! So I
I
didn't know what that
shaved.
picture was about. I forgot to ask you because you're like, so I did a thing, and I was like,
I thought you would have
what's
noticed
such
my
a
armpits
thing?
being bare.
I did not notice, honestly, till you just pointed it out. I did
So,
not notice.
and then I got to start doing another thing
Why
because
did you
I've
shave
slacked.
your armpit? Like, for what?
Because
I
it was
probably
a
have more hair
bet.
than you.
And plus, like when me and Kenzie cuddle together, she gets nothing but a face full of armpit hair because she
I
cuddles
wouldn't
up
cuddle
into
into
me.
someone's armpit. I don't
No, she
cuddle in
cuddles
the
up like in.
armpit.
She cuddles up into my chest, but when she turns at night, she'll wake up to like a face full of hair. And then, and
I
then
would never do
Dwayne's going to order a thing because I learned it's not that hard to nick your ball sack while shaving, and it's the most painful fucking thing I've ever done in my life.
that. Oh, shaving. Okay.
I'm gonna buy a Manscaped kit.
Oh, right. Like just an electric razor. I mean, those
An
aren't that
electric
dangerous.
razor that well, no, this is what they come with. An electric razor, a straight edge razor, deodorant
Straight
for
edge. You don't
down.
want a straight edge by
I'm not gonna use it. They come with
your
deodorant for down there, for down like
You don't
they.
want to use deodorant. You need to get like Lumi. You need to use something healthy down there that's
That's
not
it's
gonna
what it.
like
It's like a liquid that it's like kind of like a liquid powder that you put down there,
no.
and then it comes like with a face wash and
Like you
everything.
gotta be really careful. You gotta think about it. What's like the thinnest skin probably on your body? Like think
Penis
about
skin,
that.
my penis.
Okay, or ball sack, and that's just soaking in. You're just like teabagging your shit with chemicals. Like not a good idea.
I use more baby powder than anything.
Super highly chemical, cause ovarian cancer in millions of women.
But like so the reason I ended up shaving my armpits, which my armpits itch like a motherfucker.
What? That's gonna suck growing back in. Like, cause
Nah,
I'm
dude,
used, I'm
it's
used to
already growing
it,
back
but
in.
like, I'm sure it
It's not bothering me at all. It barely bothers me. The only thing
We'll
that I'm
see.
not used to shaving anymore is down there, and that's what fucking itches.
Yeah, I wouldn't deal with that. I'm too old for all that.
But
I'm over
like
it.
I was looking at this thing online and it has 5-star reviews.
Cold Bond.
I
Right.
am not putting Gold Bond on my dick. I'm sorry. That's gonna burn. But bro, I learned the reason why I'm getting it because I'm no longer using a razor because I nicked myself down there. I nicked like at the groin area above it like 8, 9 times, and I get out the shower and it's just nothing but blood, and I'm sitting there, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. And
How do you do that? How do you not figure it out eventually? Like,
I barely shave. But now I'm with a girl that would rather have me trimmed or shaved. Now that I have the option to trim, I'm never going as low as I did because I got rid of all the hairs, everything, and
see, and I don't like that because I feel like that's like some pedophile shit. Because the only natural people that don't have hair are little kids.
But here's the thing, though, I can get the reason why is because she stays completely shaved, and it's that
I
friction
couldn't.
rub.
I couldn't. No. No.
It's
That shit
it's a
reminds
preference,
me of kitty diddling. I'm sorry, but shaven is
bro.
the reason why you'd want to be shaved because the only person who doesn't have hair on their vagina is a child.
I get
Period.
it, but some people have their preferences. I don't like hair down there for one.
And that
It's a
preference has
mess.
only come from grooming and all this other shit. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure there's always been people who did, but all I'm trying to say is that I feel like it's more prevalent and it shouldn't be like a thing.
Bruh, and Belden Village is getting worse. I read a story yesterday of this
How about
lady
what?
up to a 17-year-old and asking him to give him a blowjob while videotaping it. And he called his uncle, who's a cop, because his mom tried to tell him and he didn't believe him. And his uncle went like, "Yeah, you were being sex trafficked." And I'm going like, I need my concealed carry. Like, bitch, you kidnap me and I start shooting. Oh fuck, he has a gun. What the
Who
hell did
is
we just
kidnapping you,
do?
Dwayne? Who's
You
kidnapping
never
you?
know. Someone can fucking kidnap my ass off the fucking street.
I don't know. I feel
Well,
like it'd
girl,
be hard.
I look, and I'm gonna say this now. I look good in a pair because I'm right now. I'm wearing my actual underwear and a pair of long johns.
Right. Why long johns? You got the air conditioner on or something?
Yeah,
It was so
and
hot up here today.
these
My
are
trailer is
comfortable
so
as shit.
hot during the day. Like I haven't run the air conditioner yet, but it's just hot. But I did get an evaporative cooling fan and I feel like that works pretty well.
But they're smooth and everything on like my body and everything, and they don't feel as tight as actual underwear, even though sometimes I do wear my actual underwear with them. But
Eyeballs.
hold on a minute. Hello, hold on.
How you gonna put your finger up to me on my own show? Anyway, continuing on with Clarity After Dark here. No, I'm not gonna hold on. This is my show.
No, I was saying for me.
Well, yeah, I'll wait for you, but this is my show. I'm not gonna hold on. Why would I hold on? Hello, audience. I would not hold on for my own show. So anyway, continuing on without Dwayne. Um, I want to talk about something else. So what do you guys, you know, how do you guys feel about, just kind of where we're at? We're getting towards the middle to the end of August. We're going into month 8, really month 7.5 for me of coronavirus world. And now we're just starting to see like a ramping up of crazy like we've never seen before. There was an interesting post by a man named John Chazik on Facebook who showed a map from this woman named Erin who had made predictions, quite a few years previous, where she shows a hurricane hitting the coast of like California, or at least some storms, one and two in the Gulf at the same time as like fires and other potential dangers, and it was like a map to show like where safety could be and how to get out. And it was interesting that Dwayne had brought up Canada because that was the way that they said to get out. And much like the way I've thought about getting into Canada, that map confirmed that the way I thought would be the way to go. And mind you, most of Minnesota's all of Minnesota's northern border except for a very small portion, would all be bordering Canada. So we do have that going for us. But it's just concerning where we are. Goddamn fly. No, don't land on me. Absolutely not. I'm on like fly patrol, you guys. I got a couple. I have like one fly in my trailer now, and I've killed all his comrades, and I'm having a hard time because I just need all of them to die. That is all. I cannot stand a fly. Joel Skousen, yeah, Wisconsin. I mean, that's depending on who you ask. Now, Joel Skousen doesn't necessarily believe in the grand solar minimum or things like Gordon Michael Scallion and other people who created like the new American Navy maps and things like that, where they believe that like Wisconsin and Minnesota the Mississippi will widen by at least 50 feet on each side, like swelling the banks and basically taking out large portions, almost creating like a funnel point where it almost creates like a larger Great Lake, right? So, with that being said, it depends on who you want to believe, what is going to happen. Now, I feel like you should take all scenarios into consideration. So, just because you want to subscribe to the idea that Wisconsin's safe or not or whatever, you also have to put into play, well, what if this does happen? 100-year floods, they say, are only supposed to happen every 100 years. But now, when you think about events like Harvey and Irma, like these extreme events keep happening where 100-year floods mean nothing anymore. We're literally having like 10,000 or 100,000 year floods at this point. We're way past like micro. We're at the macro. And so I think what's it's just going to be for the next few years, weeks, months, however long this unrest, if it doesn't continue but expand, no matter if it's weather, social, political, whatever, we're just going to have to find ways to adapt. We're going to have to find ways to pull our resources together as people. Because I think individuals or waiting for the system to go back into place is ignorant at this point. I want to find, speaking of why, I want to find this commercial, right? That the Minnesota health department had made that was for their hashtag Stay Home Minnesota campaign. It was just on the TV the other day. And what was so interesting about this is that in the commercial, they literally say, yeah, and I did see that map too, where Mississippi is carving between Wisconsin and Minnesota. Are you coming back, Dwayne? Did you come back, Dwayne? Dwayne! Anyway, I don't have time for Dwayne. I just, like I said, I don't think that, and I forgot where my place was, to be honest. But I think that, damn it, Fly Patrol. I cannot deal with this. I think at this point, if we don't put our resources together, we don't put, the health department. Thank you, McToe. The Stay Home Minnesota commercial. In the commercial, they're like, okay, it's like all the wash hands, social distance, blah, blah, blah bullshit, right? Then they come out and they're like, even though we're never going to return to normal,
You know what?
we
And that's
could
fucking bullshit.
find a new way to, like, I forget what they said, like traverse forward together or some bullshit. And I was like, what? Like, did you just admit, like, because they keep saying new normal, new normal, new normal. And they're like, even though we're not going to go back to normal. And I just thought, damn, if this isn't the new world order, because at first you said we were going to go back to that eventually. Now you're just straight up saying, like, nope, we've changed everything. And damn it,
Because
you
your
don't get a
government's a bunch
choice.
of fucking bullshit.
Yeah, you don't get a choice at this point to be involved or not. So it's shit.
Right, but guys, I think this is where I'm gonna get off for the night because I'm getting
I was
tired of
gonna
shit.
just end. I was just about to say I was gonna end it too. So, with that being said, but I want to find that commercial because I want to play it because people need to hear like them saying like we're not gonna go back to the new normal. Like what or to
Like,
the old way,
bitch,
or like I forget what how they said it, but it was just like
bitch, who
because
are you to tell me
everybody's
I'm not gonna be
waiting
turned
for the
back?
virus. Because how many people are waiting for the virus to be over? How many people are waiting for this to be the end? How many people, you know what I mean? Like, no, I get that you are, but how many people, and we know it's not going to go away though. With
It
virology, that's
will.
not how it works. It's not just, no, it's not. That's not how it works. It's not just going to disappear. It'll always be there in some forms. Maybe people won't catch it that often, or maybe it won't, but it will always be there in some form. So
Right,
it's just concerning to me. So we just got to keep our eyes peeled and just keep pressure on all these people who are trying to change the system. We can't just deal with the status quo on this one. We're going to have to fight or else we lose our whole way of life. And so I think people just really need to think about what level are we okay with fighting? At what point do you put your how dare this fly land on the fly swatter? You fucking bastard. God damn it. But we got to think about what we're going to do. And we're going to have to come together and be strong and work together because this
right,
this has gone to the next level. Because when do we fight? How do we get our lives back? How do we get the power of the people back? Because we got to remind ourselves, and I'm going to end on this. Just know that, let's think about this. Since the virus started in just about all 50 states, the governor has basically been in charge. The governor has basically been writing all the laws. They haven't let the legislature be in session just about anywhere. And so, literally, governors have been dictators in chief. And they're the ones who are controlling everything. If
right,
we don't start even fighting them to get our power back, we're going to lose it forever. And they're going to say that they don't need Congress anymore, potentially, because they've got it under control all by themselves. And the way people are going along with these schemes, I could see people literally being like, let's get rid of Congress because it'll be better. And I can just make all the decisions and it'll be great. And people will be like, okay. I don't even think people will be like, but what about the Constitution with the three branches of government? They're going to be like, what about checks and balances? And they're going to be like, that's how I really feel that we're headed. I just see people are such sheeple that I don't know how we get through with like cognitive dissonance. I just don't know.
right. But
But with that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thank you for joining me tonight on Clarity After Dark. We appreciate you. Please check out all of our great shows and our website on the Freedom Revolution Network at www.freedomrevolutionnetwork.com. If you like what we do here, think about donating. You can donate one time or become a monthly donor where you support the Freedom Revolution Network monthly with your contribution. And any contribution over $50 gets a free Freedom Revolution Network t-shirt.
you gotta send TLO his T-shirt. And
Oh,
speaking of
yeah.
donations, I'm gonna start and I'm gonna talk to Mel and see if we can't get it set up or something. Here as of tomorrow night, I'm gonna see if you guys would be willing to help make this thing what it is. Help make this thing what it is and what it's gonna be. Because there's gonna be a lot of financial planning into it. I gotta get a bottle, a bottle of anointing oil for each minister there. Scarlett will have a bottle. I'll have a bottle. All my pastors and everything. And by the way, Scarlett is going to be on our prayer team. You
You know
know
what you look? Did you cut off your goatee? I'm about to really fuck with you right now. You know what? So when the StreamYard is like cutting off your goatee, right? You know who you look like right there?
who?
Uncle Rico.
Shut up. Fuck off. Fuck you. Back to my seriousness though. I'm taking that comment down because she's cutting off my shit. She's drunk. Ignore her. Ignore her.
Tell me.
But no. But guys, I am asking for a donation so I can buy the holy water and get some gowns, some minister gowns for us, because, this is something that God's work is going to get done. Scarlett, I need you serious here for a minute.
The Lord will not let my joy be ruined.
Guys, I think from the seas to the skies, from the great pedophile state of Ohio. Good night, y'all. Scarlett.
Thank you, Uncle Rico. From the land of 10,000 lakes. Good night, universe.
I had to say